everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome to the Whiskey Cannoli podcast, episode number 16. Can you believe we made it to 16 episodes?
Not really, no.
No, I can't. Not with me as the host. Can't get my equipment to freaking work. Listen, we got an awesome freaking show for you tonight. We're going to do a fun Halloween topic. I think everybody can get it behind. Initially, it is basically the worst and best. Best and worst rated, or just in general, horror movies of all time. Got some lists here. I know people in the chat are going to be lively. We got 8 people in here already. Look at this. Let's see who we got in the chat. Let's address the chat. We got Advent Wrath back, Spider Master, Ryan G so far, of course, Mrs. Cannoli Sasquatch, Mom and Pop Tatora. How you doing, people? And we have a new addition called the Stream Elements bot, which we'll talk about that later off the air, Whiskey Bear. We got some maneuvers happening. Yeah. So we got some good stuff. Horror. Hey, Michelle, cousin Michelle's in here. Horror fanatic. So Double G Greg just joined. Hey, Double G Greg, how you doing? But we got 9 people in here. Let's get that number up. But appreciate everybody. By the way, real quick, while everybody's coming into the chat, Whiskey Banger, we hit a milestone this week.
What was that?
100 subscribers. We're at 109 subscribers.
That is outstanding.
Unbelievable. Hey, Diana, welcome. Yeah, that's a great milestone. I'm not going to lie, I got a little misty on Thursday and today. Yeah, I want to thank everybody who subscribed. Listen, we do this because of you. We love to do this. I love to do this, but we do this because we're nothing basically without the subscribers and the fans. So we do love you all. Hello, daughter. Nice purge mask. Yes, I knew. So we got Mrs. Cannoli Sasquatch did a great job. Hello, Tony. Welcome to the show. Mrs. Cannoli Sasquatch obviously did an amazing job in the background. And so this is kind of the theme for tonight for the horror movie stuff. Listen, Spider Master, how you doing? Next week, just to kind of jump ahead, we will be dressing up for the Halloween season as the last show of the month. So I have a special mask that's coming in tomorrow. Whiskey Banger may or may not be dressing as a superhero. I don't know. It's his decision. But
I will be.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Mrs. Cannoli Sasquatch will be joining next week's show. And I will put out what that show is going to be about. I will also have better equipment because Daddy's back working at home with a better PC. So I will have that set up tomorrow for my Monday stream and then going forward. Okay, Whiskey Banger. So again, let's start you off. How you doing, Whiskey? How was your week? How's everything going today, man? You ready to have a good show?
I'm pumped, man. It's a busy week, as you can tell behind me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Congratulations, by the way. In case you didn't know, Whiskey Banger's having a daughter soon. As you can see, the wonderful balloons behind him, which Mrs. Cannoli Sasquatch actually helped with his lovely wife, Cassie. We had a great little party at their house Sunday. It was a lot of fun. I ate sugar and carbs for the first time in a long time, and my body went into shock. And didn't know what to do with itself the next day because I'm on keto. And Mr. Whiskey Banger starting tomorrow is going to be on the keto diet. So we're going to have a little chat this weekend about what to expect with the keto flu.
Going to give it a go.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Hopefully it doesn't kick my ass too bad.
No, you'll be all right. You survived the military. You'll survive the keto.
That's fair.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's just get into the topic then. So we have horror movies. We have top horror movies, best horror movies, your favorite horror movies. Okay, so let's do this. Let's start off the show with a bang. Whiskey Banger, what is your favorite horror movie of all time?
My favorite horror movie. Now, let me clarify this real quick. Are we strictly going with, Halloween themed slasher
you can do
type?
Horror movie in general.
Any kind of scary movie.
Any movie in horror. It could be psychological horror, could be slasher horror, could be gory. Could be watching Tim dance or Filipino meatball dance, which we will play later.
PTSD is kicking in.
PTSD, yeah. So you tell me, what is your? You had to pick one.
If I have to pick one, it is definitely the remake, the John Carpenter's remake of The Thing.
Oh God, that movie was so good.
I love that movie.
Funny thing is, during Halloween? Yeah, during the Halloween Ends movie, the best part of the movie, the only good part of the movie is in the beginning when they're watching that on the TV before the guy goes crazy and kills kids. Yeah. That was on TV. You know what? I hadn't seen that movie in a long time, so I revisited it this week. And holy shit, that movie is practical effects were amazing. Good
Yeah,
act. You had a good cast. And it's Kurt Russell, right?
of course,
So
one of my man crushes.
yeah, me too. I love that man. Big Trouble. But by the way, I was watching Big Trouble in Little China the other night. Underrated
Great
movie.
movie.
John Carpenter movie. Another John Carpenter movie. Okay, so what I can do, I guess, is we could start off with a list that, thanks to the wonderful Mrs. Cannoli Sasquatch and her awesome research, kind of a list of what she found is the top 10 franchises of all time for horror. And we can kind of, if you want to go down that list real quick with me, and then we'll kind of go through what we like as horror movies or not. And some of these movies that are listed in here, I never would have thought would have been horror movies. They're actually labeled as horror movies. One of them I do get. One I kind of surprised me. So let's start here. So number 10 on the list, director John Landis. This is a classic for me. I don't know if you've ever seen it. An American Werewolf in London.
Oh yeah.
So basically, what I loved about the movie is that it had a very dark humor. It was in, I believe, in London, if I'm not, yeah, obviously in London. Duh. It was in London at the height of its power in the early 80s, 1 year removed from the Blues Brothers movie. Landis opted for a much grittier, scarier story that stands as what was still the best werewolf movies of all time. Now, if Abomination AJ's in here, who he claims to be a werewolf, I want to know what he thought of this movie, because this is a classic. So if anybody's out there, ask Abomination AJ what he thought of. And by the way, we're gonna, now that Mrs. Cannoli Sasquatch is a moderator, we will blast links into the chat. So Mrs. Cannoli Sasquatch, if you want to get started maybe with Advent Wrath and Spider Master, if you want to look for them, put their links in there to subscribe. Please subscribe to these guys. They're awesome. So here's the story. When two travelers backpacking across the English moors are attacked by a werewolf, one is killed and the other, David, infected with the wolf, is bitten, infected with the wolf's curse. Haunted by the simultaneous unnerving and hilarious visions of his dead friend. So if you remember the movie, he gets bitten, his friend dies, and he keeps having visions of his friend throughout the movie, wherever they are. Pretty. It was actually pretty funny movie in parts. Like I said, dark humor. So David must decide how to come to terms with the monster he has to become. Over time, he starts to grow hair in places, and weird shit starts happening for him. So he strikes up a relationship with the beautiful nurse played by Jenny. The film lulls you into comfort. So the movie does do a good job of kind of giving you this false sense of like, what the hell is happening here? Where is this going? When is he turned into the werewolf, right? Well, there is the key moment in the scene is, and this is a scene that I watched as a kid. He's actually sitting in a room reading a book, I believe, and the song from Sam Cooke, Blue Moon, comes on, of course, naturally. And you see the moon come out in the background, and then boom, you see probably some of the best practical effects I've ever seen in a horror movie before. Scared the shit out of me as a kid. I was really young. I was young. I'll say about maybe 10. When I first saw the movie, I was probably, it came out in 1981. I was only 2. I remember watching it when I was like 8 or 9 years old on cable later on with my parents. That scene where he turns into the werewolf and you hear his bones cracking and it was freaking frightening the hell out of me. To this day, when I watch it, I get the shakes. So do you remember anything about this movie? Do you remember that's a classic scene? Everybody knows that scene. What do you think of American Werewolf in London?
I do remember it. It's a great movie. It's been a while since I've seen it, but the practical effects, like you said, were top notch.
Yeah.
Especially for the time.
The Howling. Yeah, and The Howling too. That was another great movie. Same guy. I like that it was different and changed things up. It was different. It did change things up. Jenny. I don't even know how to pronounce that last name. I'm just going to leave you to a double G, Greg. Great movie. So I'm going to go with this next movie, but that movie was great. It's on the top 10 list. It's actually listed as number 10 of all time. Okay. Here's one that I know of the movie, but this might double G Greg might know this one because it's actually a little bit older than I remember. It's called The Innocents from 1961. There's Filipino Meatballs in the chat. I feel like you
Oh,
choose
yeah.
male models. Well, duh. Project Metal Beast was also good, and yeah, Griffin was good. Yeah, no, God, I knew this chat would go lively with this. They're fanatics. They're crazy. They're all nuts. I love it. I love it. The Innocent, starring Jack Clayton. Now, this is an old school movie, so the people who are a little maybe a little older than us would remember. I do know of the movie. So it says here there are a few sights in Gothic horror more instantly iconic than the female protagonist dressed in a flowing nightgown wandering the halls of a pitch black Victorian country mansion. Yeah, that would scare the shit out of me. Let's see here. The Innocents was one of the greatest of all Gothic horror chillers, based on the Henry James Turn of the Screw. Have you ever heard of this movie? The Innocents?
I have not, no.
1961. So it concerns the young governess with a love for children as she finds herself in a challenging new locale, caring for two orphan kids whose rich uncle has no room in his heart for family members. So sounds like a fun guy, right? So from the opening moments, the ghostly presence of the past is palpable. It's a tough word to say. Palpable. So it's a cinematic feast if you're watching on mute. Okay, so basically the cinematographer, Freddie Francis, experimentation with deep focus and loving shots of the country mansion. So I guess a little bit of experimentation back then with how the movie was shot. The child actors, meanwhile, are nothing short of phenomenal. It may have been the best performance by a couple of kids in an entire history of a horror genre.
I don't know. I have a hard time with like kid actors and actresses.
Kid actors are tough, yeah, because they could be really bad. I mean,
really bad,
homeboy,
really good.
Haley Joel Osment in The Sixth Sense, phenomenal.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly.
You don't always get that.
I thought
you don't always get that. Deborah Kerr. I knew Double G Greg would know this. Deborah Kerr. It's a beautiful ghost story, best viewed by candlelight. So it sounds like one of those older school movies that you would just kind of enjoy. But that was number 9 on the list, and that came out in 1961. So that's The Innocents. Number 8, one we all know of because there's been remakes of this, Dawn of the Dead. George A. Romero. I think didn't George A. Romero do Night of the Living Dead as well?
Yes.
I think so. So you have Dawn of the Dead at number 8. I think Dawn of the Dead is the one Zack Snyder remade, right? Later on.
Yeah, it was terrible. I didn't like it.
Yeah, it was okay. It was okay, but yeah. Okay, here's one in number 7 that really shocked me. And I guess let me ask you this. I'm going to give you the name of the movie. You tell me if you would categorize this as a horror movie because it's on number 7 on the list of best horror. Jaws.
I mean,
technically,
it's a scary ass movie.
Advent Rant original blew my diaper off. Dawn of the Dead. Yeah. I haven't seen it. Yeah, Jaws 1975, Steven Spielberg. I don't have to give you the background of what worst horror movie, Blair Witch. We're gonna get to that.
I wonder why.
Yeah, were you sad? Were you crying? We're gonna get to
Daddy.
that. Yeah, we're gonna get to that. So Jaws. I don't have to give you the background with Jaws. Steven Spielberg. 1975 is about a shark, just basically animatronic shark killing everyone. To me, is one of the best movies ever made. I don't know how you feel about that. Overall, it's one of the top movies ever.
I love Jaws. I thought it was a great movie. As a kid watching it, I mean, I already, admittedly, I'll just say it. I have thalassophobia. Like, I'm afraid of the ocean. Yeah. Ocean scares the crap out of me. And that movie made it 10 times worse. Yeah.
I agree. Let's see. Greg Double G. Let's see. Spider Master. Mrs. Coney is scary as shit. She said, Spider Master, there's a worse horror movie that was released in 1999 VHS called Camp Blood. Oh my God. It sounds scary. Double G Greg says the best Frankenstein movie, critics say, and I agree. The Bride of Frankenstein, that's old school, but yes, that is a good movie.
Yes. Bride of Frankenstein is better.
Great movie. Advent says, yeah, I count it in the suspense, and thanks, Mrs. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I guess because it's a suspense, I guess you could categorize that as horror. It just kind of threw me off for a second. It's not something you would normally see.
Well, that's why I asked earlier, like, what are we categorizing? Are we talking like the slasher?
So this is what we researched
as far scary.
As, yeah, exactly. So this is what we researched as far as the top 10 of what the internet, I guess, thinks is the top 10. And then number 6 is called Let the Right One In. 2008 movie about vampires. I never saw this
Not
movie,
familiar.
but I know
I've
I've
never
heard
even
of it.
heard of it.
Yeah. So some vampire films are scary, some are gory, some are visually striking, some are cerebral, some are emotionally resonant. A select few embody 2 or 3 of these things. Let the right one in is the full package and unnerving as it is heartfelt. John on a Lingvitz adaptation of his own vampire-centric coming-of-age tale feels as though it should be rife with contradictions and tonal shifts. Says it's basically expertly captures both the isolation of childhood and first loves and vampires. That sounds very interesting. See, of course, Double G Greg knows it. Of course. Thomas, I'm just trying to read through here real quick. So basically, I see it says most vampire flicks are happy to transcend their horror trapping and become something that traditionally audiences can appreciate as a satisfying thrill ride. This movie transcends such expectations. It's a great horror movie and a flat out cinematic masterpiece. Wow. Strong words. So that's number 6. Okay, well, here you go, Whiskey Banger. Number 5, 1982, John Carpenter's The Thing.
Oh, yeah.
And it even
Excellent
says here,
movie.
no disrespect for the original. The Thing from another. That was 1951 was the original. Jesus.
Yeah. And even that movie was pretty good.
It wasn't bad. Yeah, I remember watching one and then one after a long time ago, but it's been a while since I've seen the original. So the reimagining of the story, it's basically, it says right here, greatest acts of modernization, in a manner that was mimicked 6 years later by the remake of The Blob. Oh, I didn't know that. Carpenter. Okay, so he took a Cold War story and turned it. I remember that movie, and especially all the way up through the end when you didn't know who the actual parasite was or alien, and then it's kind of a surprise. And see, of course, Advent knows about the let the right one in. So this is a movie I got to watch now. So John Carpenter, yeah. So I remember that movie, especially the part at the end? What's the part when they put their hands in the guy to try to, and the guy's stomach basically eats the guy's hands off in the thing? And
yeah, so he was trying to use defibrillator pads on the guy.
Yeah,
and he goes put his hands in there, and his freaking stomach just.
Amazing practical effects, man. I mean, incredible practical effects for its time. They still hold up. No CGI. And then the best part, the one that everybody recognizes at the very end, when the guy basically turns into the alien, his head comes off, and he's like a head with just the alien. But oh god, dude, no. To this day, I refuse. I see it on TV. I'm like, nope. Great movie, but yeah. But that's number 5. Number 4 is a classic. Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, which was filmed in Arizona, by the way, if nobody knew.
Yeah.
Of course, no explanation needed here. We know what Psycho is. I remember watching this movie when I was younger with my parents. I gotta tell you though, the acting is great. The duality of him, and you don't know he's actually pretending to be his mother the whole time. They do a pretty good job. It's a pretty modern take. It was ahead of its time. Let's put it that way. Alfred Hitchcock had a way of just really. The guy was a genius. And actually, little tidbit: there are scenes from Jaws that have Hitchcockian film elements, like the part. I don't know if you remember the part where Brody's on the beach, and the second time the shark comes, you see the camera just zoom in on him real quick, like a Hitchcock movie. It's because he was a Hitchcock fan. So just a little trivia for you. Yeah, great. Psycho was great. Really don't have to go too much into it, but that was great. And here we go. Here's a movie we both love. 1979 Ridley Scott's Alien.
Dude, one of my favorite movies of all time.
So let's talk about Alien real quick, because I know everybody gives the kudos to Aliens. That was James Cameron's baby, which in itself is a good movie. Of course, it's a fun movie. It's entertaining. It's a lot of action. It's like the Terminator 2 to Terminator 1, right? Where I like Terminator better because it was more of a horror movie. Same kind of thing to me. Where then Terminator 2 became a spectacle, special effects, action, the good story, but I like the original Alien better. I thought the suspense was great. Again, another great movie with practical effects. Alien was terrifying. What do you think about Alien?
That movie scared the crap out of me. I saw that movie. I still remember when I saw that movie for the first time had a sleepover at my buddy Tyler's house. I think we were in 5th grade, and his older brothers were there kind of watching us, making sure we weren't doing anything stupid. And they put the movie in, and I'm like, oh, what's this? Like I'm used to watching Ninja Turtles, right? Like
Right.
G.I. Joe and stuff like that. And we sat there and watched that movie, scared the crap out of me. And I agree with you. I think it's a better, like, yeah, Aliens is a great movie in terms of just action and, blowing stuff up and whatnot. But Alien, that movie was, I mean, I consider that to be a horror movie in space.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think it's even that's why it's in this category. And I agree with you. It's a terrifying movie. Again, the second one gets most of the credit in the franchise as the most popular one, for sure. And I like the second movie. Don't get me wrong; it's a fun movie.
Yeah,
The first one really sets it up. Hey, Sandia Head, how you doing? Thanks for joining. I missed convo logging in, but Joy's was scary as a kid who spent a lot of time at the shore. Exactly. We used to go to the Jersey Shore as a family. We used to go to Long Island to the beach. No thanks. I would just look out into that ocean and go, nah, I'm good. I'm not dipping my feet in what I can't see below me. I don't want any sharks coming at me through the water. So that really scared the living shit out of me. Jaws was a great movie. So that was Alien number 3. Now we're going through this kind of quick, but I want to get to some of your. I think here we go. Number 2. Now, of course, this list is, just matter of opinion. But number 2 is Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. And of course, it's a classic, right? The music.
Yeah, for sure.
Eerie. It's creepy. Jack Nicholson's amazing, right? The whole red rum thing that freaking kid does fucking creep me out forever. So Stephen King wrote the book, obviously. Kubrick made the movie adaptation. He did change a lot from the book. Like Stephen King did not make. I'm glad he made some changes, though, because in the book, things work better in books than movies. They were talking bushes. I don't think that would have worked very well in the movie. Thank you, Michelle. Yes, red rum. That scene when that kid starts doing that shit, it scared the living hell out of me. Kubrick was obviously is a genius. Guy was way ahead of his time as well. He largely rejected the emotional core of King's story because he saw within the bones of The Shining an opportunity for a journey into the heart of visually and sonically inspired terror that few films ever did at that time. And I think he nailed it. Because the isolation of the hotel, the visuals were amazing. The cinematography was amazing. Just a big isolated hotel. The outside, all you heard was wind and snow. And yeah, the book is way scarier, but Stanley, exactly. He made the movie feel like torture. Thank you, Advent. The movie really put you in their shoes as far as being in this place all by yourself. You can't get out. What would, they're going crazy from the isolation. Then you bring the horror element into it. Great movie. A lot of people, it says here, a lot of movies have tried to replicate it and have not had the same success. Unlike in King's novel, Jack Nicholson is never treated with any kind of sympathy or pathos in the eyes of the audience. He's a creep from the very moment we meet him during his job interview, and he only gets worse from there. With the implied threat of the physical violence toward Danny, which is the kid, Danny Lloyd, and Wendy, Shelley Duvall. That poor woman in that movie got tortured, man.
Screaming the whole time.
Yeah, hanging over. Yeah, so his madness is alluded to masterfully through some of the most iconic visual and especially sound editing, which was amazing in cinematic history. So yeah, I mean, that movie was a great movie. Shining was great. Some people I've talked to over the years think it's a little overrated. Just, I don't know. I guess it's just a matter of opinion. Is it a great horror movie? It's definitely, well, according to this, number 2. So, and then of course, number 1, which I think is no surprise to most people, is The Exorcist.
I was going to say it's got to be The Exorcist.
1973. Wow. William Friedkin. I don't really. Okay, I remember seeing The Exorcist as a little bit of a younger chap. And it's another movie that scared the living hell out of me.
Yep.
Demons, and the worst part was that it was supposedly a true story. and they changed a few things. Obviously, they changed a lot about it initially, but the main plot was true. It really happened. Of course, it was dramatized a little bit, maybe, but it says even here that it's a safe pick for number one because everybody knows that The Exorcist was, is this timeless classic. The parts with the demon face flash on the screen and then I remember there was a director's or edited cut later on where she's going backwards, walking down the stairs, and she's in the music. The music is very scary. Yeah, Linda Blair, who was possessed. I remember there was a lot of weird shenanigans on the set of that movie that were going on, and I think didn't some people die during the making or after that? The head spin, and the head spin when she spits out the fucking green shit out of her mouth. No, thank you. Demonic stuff scares the hell out of me. It creeps me out, man. I don't know about you, but it wears down any sense of hope that both the audience and the characters might have, making you feel as if there is no way this priest, played by Jason Miller, even strong in his own faith, is going to be able to save her. And then eventually they do get victory but I think doesn't the demon go into the priest at the end and he jumps out the window and kills himself, kind of thing. It's what do you think about The Exorcist? Like, where would do you agree that it should be in at least the top 3 horror movies of all time?
I would say, yeah. I really, okay. When I first saw the movie, scared the crap out of me. It was another one of those movies I saw when I was a little kid. I'd never seen any kind of demon possession, exorcism type movie before. Right. So the first time I saw it, like you said, head spinning around, doing all this crazy crap, scared the crap out of me.
Oh yeah.
I would definitely put it in like the top 10 at least of scary movies ever made. It's like my mom still can't watch that movie. She saw it one time and she refuses to watch it.
Yeah. Yeah. Greg saying the haunting scared the hell out of me. That was the scariest movie I ever saw. The Exorcist was really scary. I saw, yeah. They're all AMC now, sadly. Yeah. It's yeah, you're right. Like movies like that. Now, I don't know if it's just the horror movie genre itself is just played out like every other genre. So the people who made Halloween are making a remake of The Exorcist. And I'm just thinking to myself, how are you going to ruin this movie now? Like, why are you even going back to, don't draw from the well. You don't have to draw from the well. Just stick to what you know, which is not making good horror movies. And it doesn't need to be remade. I don't know how you even compare it to the classic. So I don't know. I just don't like the idea of them doing that, but what do I know? She said she did The Exorcist, and later on she did that disaster film, which I never saw. I don't know which roller. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Double G, Greg. Interesting. All right, so we can go by down also a list I have here of top 10 horror franchises, but do you have any anything you want to add as far as any of your own suggestions from a list, or just horror movies in general you wanted to talk about that you liked it? Or we could even do with some of the bad ones, because we talked about some of the most popular ones. So what's some of the bad? I'm throwing Halloween Ends in there. It's one of the worst horror movie slasher movies I've seen. Filipino Meatball. You know what? Hold on a second.
Hold on. What, he was afraid of Blair Witch Project.
Blair
Witch. The Exorcist isn't scary. Come on.
You know what's really scary? That scares the hell out of me. Oh, I'm sorry, Michelle. Did I ruin the movie for you? Well, don't listen to my Monday stream from last week about Halloween because it'll ruin it for you. Watch it after you watch the movie, and tell me. So, all right. So, what are some of the bad horror movies? What are some of the worst horror movies that you could think of? I was trying to think of this the other day. Now, Michelle, you're a horror movie fanatic. Maybe you could chime in. All these people in here who are horror movie fans. What's the one that was like? Blair Witch. Yeah, Blair Witch was weird. I'd say it was suspenseful, but I think what pissed people off about Blair Witch is that it was touted as this true story docu thing, and eventually you found out it was fake. But what's considered a bad horror movie to you?
I mean, right off the bat, first thing that pops into my mind of a movie that I couldn't stand after I watched it I didn't even finish it. It was The Quiet Place.
The first one?
Yeah.
Oh, was that the one with Krasinski and Emily Blunt, the alien one?
Yeah, like it's not, again, this isn't like Halloween themed slasher horror movie, but just as like a, a quote unquote scary movie.
Right.
I was not even interested because first I saw the preview for it and I'm like, okay, this looks kind of interesting. And then they showed the monster in the preview.
Right.
Like
so it took away any suspense. Yeah.
Yeah, like any ounce of suspense whatsoever. Like, I mean, in my mind, if I'm watching a movie and there's something that's out there that's killing people, we don't know what it is, we don't know what it looks like, but people are dying. That's scary. Your imagination runs wild.
Mm-hmm.
But when you just show me what the monster already looks like, what it already does, completely done.
I can see that. Yeah, I guess there's a fine line because you want to sell the movie to make profit off the movie. You want to make, but to me, word of mouth would do that. If the movie's good, people would talk about it and people would go see it. Amityville Horror was another movie that was creepy. Just going down the list in the chat here. Leprechaun and Gingerbread Man listed as the worst movies. You know what? I think those movies were meant to be like parodies almost.
Leprechaun
I get what
2.
you're saying. Yeah. Oh wait, what's the movie with the guy when he goes, "Oh no, they're gonna eat them."
What was that? Trolls?
Trolls. Oh my god.
Oh my. They're eating her. Then they're gonna eat me. Oh my god.
Oh, that's classic. Yeah, Mrs. Cannoli Sasquatch. I'm gonna yeah, so a couple of the friends I don't hang out with anymore. Back when this paranormal movie came out, I think it was around Halloween actually. We went to we hung out that day, and then at night they said, "Hey, let's go see Paranormal Activity." When it came, I hate those kinds of movies. I hate possession movies. I hate that kind of shit. So we went to see it really late at night. I got home at like 1 a.m. I snuck out of the house, by the way, because I snuck out of the house, and the Mrs. Sasquatch caught me leaving. I don't know why I snuck out. I didn't want to wake anybody up, or I didn't want to bother her. So anyway, I went to see the movie. I came home, and I don't care. Call me a wimp, call me a pussy. I don't care. I came home at like 1 a.m. and I turned all the lights on in the house, and I would not go to bed for like 3 hours because I don't know if you've seen Paranormal Activity.
Yes.
The part where she gets dragged out of the bed, and listen, I know it's fake, like it's not true, but the way they filmed it is just, I don't like that shit. It's like that Exorcist demonic. No. See a woman get dragged out of bed by a demon. She's screaming. No. Yeah. So I got in trouble for that later on. Though. Let's see what else. What I saw What was the one Advent Cannibal Holocaust? These are some gems we're throwing in here for bad movies. Michelle says Old. Yeah. You know what, Michelle? Old is the M. Night Shyamalan movie. I was kind of interested in seeing that, but I heard a lot of bad things. I just never got to it. Carnival of Souls. Look at these people. I knew these guys would come with the fire tonight with these movies. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Classic movie that's bad, but meant to be bad. A married man snuck out. Yeah, we know. No, because I told you you'd be scared. You'd be a scared bitch if you saw it and told you not to go. See, Michelle? Michelle's with me. Couldn't sleep. Could have gotten dragged by Demon Cat.
Dude, it could have happened.
Yeah. Oh, well, we know what Tanner would have done. I made a clip out of that.
That's why it was so scary, bro. I don't like The Exorcist, so if I got a demon cat screaming at me, I'm scared.
Yeah, well, we know what you would do. We would choke the life out of the goddamn cat now, which is my favorite part. So, yeah, there's a lot of bad movies. So let's do this real quick. Let's go down the top 10 horror franchises that are out there. So we'll go down the list of horror franchises. You guys in the chat, let me know what you think about these movies as a horror franchise movies. So number 10, we have the movie Halloween. Now, seeing the Halloween franchise at number 10 doesn't feel right to some people, as it's been such an important part of the horror landscape for 40 years. You obviously got Carpenter's vision of it, and then you have the movies that followed, all 100 of them. Let's see here. So you got, okay. So then, however, only Halloween's 1978 and Halloween 2018 have fresh tomato scores. So Rotten Tomatoes only gave the original and the 2018 reboot, or I guess sequel, fresh scores, which is really not surprising for Halloween movies. Halloween 1 and 2, I think we've talked about this. So Halloween's 1 and 2 are Carpenter movies, right? And then Halloween H2O, I believe, was a Carpenter movie. Usually are the most revered movies out of the franchise. And then 2018 had a little bit of a an uprising, and then God knows, we all know what happened after that. Halloween Kills and Halloween ended, and it ended bad. You look at this. Here you go. Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers Resurrection, and Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers scored a 15% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Not surprised. Those movies kind of suck.
Do you remember the Halloween 3? Was it the Season of the Witch?
Yeah, Season of the Witch.
With the people wearing masks, and then the song came on the TV, and then they was eating their heads. It was a fun movie. I like it, but most people think it doesn't make sense. A woman gets in a wreck, and her spirit wanders the earth, being chased by other disease. What the hell movie are they talking about? The one with Buster. It's the one with Buster Rhymes. I just can't. Michelle says. That's a good point. 1978's movie got a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes. Wow. And here we go. Make sure you check out the show 2018 and also H2O 20 years later. H2O was the one with, is that LL Cool J in that one? Wasn't LL Cool J in one of those movies? Chat, you want to help me out here? Was it Halloween? I don't remember either.
I remember not liking the movie. It was okay.
Wow. It was okay. Okay, here's one. Now, this is a horror franchise. Another one that I didn't. Josh Hartnett's hair. Yeah, that was bad. Here's a movie franchise. Yeah, LL Cool J. I knew I was right. He was really popular at the time, so it made sense. Yeah, LL was in the Deep Blue Sea shark movie. That was another movie that was just, oh god. Sam Jackson gets eaten by a shark. The worst CGI I think I've ever seen in my life. So Halloween had 11 total movies. I think that's minus the newest one, so 12 total, I think. Here's a franchise, Whiskey Ranger, you never would have thought was a horror franchise. They consider this it's number 9 on the list, and it's Predator.
Really? It's
actually listed as a horror franchise.
I mean,
the first one, maybe more of an action movie to me, but maybe because the whole alien
I would
thing.
consider it more. I mean, the first movie's suspenseful.
Sure.
But
is a horror
franchise? Know. I mean, I won't say no, but it's.
So here's some.
It doesn't come to mind.
6 total movies. I think this is including Prey. I think. The tomato Rotten score average is 40% for all movies combined, and then the audience score is 47%. It tells you how the. It's made $81 million at the domestic box office. Best film out of all of them listed is, of course, the original Predator. 85% Rotten Tomatoes, 1987. And that movie only got an 85%, which I think it should be higher because that movie's a classic. 12 movies.
One of my favorite movies.
Oh, Predator is amazing.
Dude, yeah. I love Predator. That movie is
the first awesome. Movie is I can watch it 100,000 times. It's amazing.
Stick around.
Stick it down, Bennett. Nah. Oh no, that was another movie. That was Commando. I'm thinking of the wrong movies. Jesus. If it bleeds. Stick around was when he throws the pipe through the guy. Commando.
No, that's blow off some steam.
Oh, so I was right.
Stick around is when he throws the freaking machete into the guy and it like.
Into the guy at the yeah when they're in that little village killing. Okay, so listen.
Yeah, when they're clearing out that village.
Yes.
Yeah, the pipe is blow off some steam, Bennett.
What does he say to Carl Weathers when he's doing the in the begining with pushing too many pencils?
Oh, he's like, what is this fucking tie business? CIA's got you pushing too many pencils.
How do you not like that movie, man?
I fucking love that movie, dude.
Come on, it's a fucking great movie. Billy, it didn't kill you because you were the no sport.
No sport.
That's getting clipped out. We're gonna do our Arnold Schwarzenegger impression shorts coming next week. Timothy versus the ice Nazi. She could chase him around with an axe and a bucket of a bucket of ice and an axe. Just throw it at him. That would be the greatest thing ever. Okay, so Predator. Obviously, I think basically it's putting it in because it's technically a monster alien. He skins people. He's chasing people. I guess it's considered in that genre of horror. I'm going to skip past that, though. But in general, it's listed as number 9 as far as the top 10 horror franchises. Number 8 is Saw.
It's kind of low, actually.
Yeah, so number 8 is Saw, not counting Spiral. Get this, the tomato meter average score is 28.5%. Oof, it's low. 64% audience score. Best film, 2004 Saw. I think that's the one I like the best, the original Saw movie.
Yeah, the first one's good.
First one was pretty good. I remember that one. And after that, they kind of got a little goofy, and then they had the spin-off Spiral. And original Saw is underrated. I actually like the original Saw. I like Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Dude, Killer Clowns from Outer Space is the most underappreciated movie. It's so stupid, but it's amazing.
It's good stupid.
It's good stupid. It's fun. Mrs. Cannoli Sasquatch watched the Saw franchise with the kid last year. She likes it. I really couldn't do it after the first one. But
I wonder why she likes it after all that serial killer.
Oh, the serial killer torture, putting people's heads into vices. And I put a clip up. What was the clip I just put up about the Sacramento vampires eating people's blood with the yogurt? Whatever the hell was going on. Yeah, Michelle says, or it's so bad it's good. No, and I understand that about horror movies. What I loved about Killer Clowns from Outer Space is that it didn't take itself seriously. It was gory. It was ridiculous. That's a movie I'm going to watch this weekend. I'm going to try to. I like it because karma got the bad people. No, I get that.
That's fair.
Yeah, I like the first 2 Saws I'd give you as passable. After that, it just started getting weird, man. I don't know. But overall, audience, it still made money. I mean, it says here it's made $75 million in 8 films. For a horror movie, that's not bad. They're interconnected with each other. So, and then you have the creep. The part with the creep, what's that guy's Jigsaw, right?
Jigsaw.
Yeah, it's a creepy little doll walking around. What does he say? If you have 30 seconds to get the key across the room or Jigsaw's going to cut your penis off. It's like, I don't know. What does that mean? What, and you're like, then you're screaming at the TV after that because you're like, no, idiot, do that. And I'm like, what am I doing? I'm screaming at a TV, and this moron deserves to get his head chopped off. He's got needles in a box, and then you're like, dude, the key's right there. Just take your arm and, do one of these. And then you got Jigsaw, the little bike guy coming out. Yeah, if you don't do this, your friends are going to die in a car crash. What the fuck are you talking about, Jigsaw? Jesus. That is a clip right there. I'm going to clip that part out too. Jigsaw voice. I do voices, by the way. Characters,
Yeah, pretty good.
Whiskey Banger knows. Okay, here's a franchise which I think the first movie is fantastic. Final Destination is number 7.
Yeah.
Like when I say fantastic, I think the first one's good.
Yeah, like I think the first one's a decently good movie. The franchise itself.
No, the franchise is not.
It's entertaining,
right?
Just the way they come up with the way they die and stuff like that.
The way people die, yeah. I think you're right. The first one's my favorite. So it's got an average tomato score 43%, audience score 54. So again, what happens is the original movies of these series usually are good, and then the sequels are so bad they just bring it all down, the scores down. It's made $74 million. Best film list here is Final Destination 5. Had the best rating of 62%, better than the original. Yeah. That's weird.
Isn't that that's the one that ties back to the first one,
like
right?
To the original one. So it has
because they end up not getting on the plane or whatever.
Final Destination made an entire generation not drive behind log trucks.
For real.
Double G Greg, you're feeling all right, man? This guy's typing a mile a minute. I like that Final Destination. So what makes it unique, it says here, is that Final Destination 2 and 3 and Final Destination 5 all have higher tomato scores than the original one, which is weird to me. I think the original is the best one.
That is weird.
Final Destination, the original, only had a 35% Rotten Tomato score. That's actually surprising to me because I thought that was the best movie out of all of them. Shook me after. Yeah, so I had Vince right. It shook him after. It was an entertaining movie. I don't drive behind gasoline trucks. Yeah, that's a good idea, Michelle. Here we go. Speaking to your point, Filipino Meatball, the opening freeway scene in Final Destination 2, which involves bouncing logs and exploding innards, is one of the most memorable horror movie moments in recent history. The scene is effective because it made many travelers wary of driving anywhere near a logging truck. So good call on that one. I don't get on airplanes. I got on an airplane a few weeks ago, and I'm not gonna lie, I had for a sec when the plane. I hate takeoff. When the plane takes off, my heart goes into my fucking stomach. Landing is not a problem for me. Taking off, and I see the plane doing this angle shit, I started thinking of that movie, Final Destination. So Final Destination 5 was the last movie. So there you go. You were right, Whiskey Banger. 5 tied all the movies out together and brought it together. Okay, here's one that most people will know, and it's very popular. Number 6 horror movie franchise is Child's Play. Okay, no, I'm glad you.
I don't like any of them.
So you didn't even like the first one.
I didn't even like the first one.
Really?
No, it doesn't do anything for me.
So was it because of the doll thing? Was it too kiddie? Was it just not effective? Because it is like considered a classic 80s horror movie.
Yeah, like, and I can understand why. I mean, it definitely fits into that slasher, whatever. But it just like Chucky's not scary. It's the acting isn't good. It's the mom from what's that show? Freaking Seventh Heaven. Is the mom.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I just didn't like any of them.
Child Play in 2019. There was a remake of that movie? I don't even know. It was. Okay. I know there's a show. So it has 8 films, average score of 54%, Rotten Tomato, audience score 48. It's made,
yes,
like a way to catch a felony. Yeah. That's like I'm gonna highlight that one because that's a good one. Filipino meatball.
Chris Hansen here. Why don't you have a seat?
See, Cannoli, Mrs. Sasquatch saying it's more comical than horror. Like to her,
and I would agree with that. Like if you're just watching it because it's like a fun, goofy.
Well, but the whole idea of a doll coming to life is fucking creepy. But I get what you're saying. Though.
I don't know. The execution is just not that scary.
Advent Wrath, like your comment about Seventh Heaven, and you're right. It was more of an evil spirit than less than a doll, but they made it. I don't know. I thought the first one was okay, but overall, 8 movies in though, like they have to make and they make money though. I guess, and if they keep making money, why not? Let's see here. I'm not going to go much. Okay, well, here's number 5, and I don't know. I thought this one maybe would be a little higher, but maybe not. A Nightmare on Elm Street.
What?
Listed as we're going by full franchise here, all movies, not just the movie. That's why some of these are so. Nightmare on Elm Street had 9 movies, average tomato score of 49%, audience score of only 50%, $78 million. Best film was the original 1984, 89% on Rotten Tomatoes. So it says here what separates Nightmare on Elm Street from its iconic counterparts like Halloween and Friday the 13th. It's produced that it produced fresh sequels, meaning freshly scored sequels. A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, and Wes Craven's A New Nightmare were the fresh ones after the original. So those were popular. I remember those movies. So it said the series took chances and produced memorable sequels that introduced new stories, likable characters, and a meta narrative that actually made Freddy scary again. New Nightmare. I agree. So I know we've talked about this. The original is a classic, but there was a reboot of the movie. And what year was the remake? It was in the 2000s?
2010.
2010. Now, again, that's a movie that didn't do well in Rotten Tomato scores. I don't think it was bad because it did actually show the backstory. Like it actually went into detail about his actual backstory. I know you like the reboot.
I will. This might be an unpopular opinion. I actually
bastard.
I know, dude. I'll admit. I'll say I'm sacrilegious. I think the remake in 2010 is. I think it might be better than the first one. Like,
wow.
The idea of it's the concept of Freddy in the remake, because in the original. Yeah, because in the original, he was a child killer, and then parents banded together, burned him alive, and now he's haunting the people who killed him, their children in their dreams. Okay, cool, like interesting concept.
Right.
But in the remake, Freddy is like a groundskeeper / custodian at like a preschool, and he's a pedophile, like he's a child molester, and the parents find out about it and they kill him the same way. They burn him alive in a building. But now he's haunting his victims, the child that he molested. He's haunting them in their dreams.
Right.
Way creepier. And it's not just creepier in like a scary aspect, it's creepier in like a creepy pedophile aspect as
Pedophile
well.
kind of way, yeah.
So you're really rooting for the the actual people to kill Freddy.
Because in the original, it was just implied, right? They didn't really show what happened. They kind of like in a really quick.
Yeah, all they ever really said in the original was like he was a child killer.
Yeah,
and that was pretty much it.
Yeah,
they didn't really show anything. They didn't really get into it very much. In the remake, though, they kind of go into it pretty deep, and there's like, the kids come across Polaroids of themselves being molested and stuff. Like it's cringy as hell. But in
you know what, I think it's on one of these movies on Netflix or HBO. I have to watch the remake again. Although, I should say the reboot 2010 because that's been a long time, man. But I know people. Yeah, see, Michelle, we used to talk about this. She never got into the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. I liked Freddy Krueger as a character. Yes, they did Freddy versus Jason, which was a fucking comedy. To me, it was a comedy. It wasn't a horror movie. It was so ridiculous. And I like actually Jason more than Freddy. I think, and this is weird because we're going to talk about this later. But as far as who's your favorite horror movie character, I know people love Freddy. People love Jason. People love Michael Myers. Everybody loves Michael Myers. I like Jason. I don't know. The whole idea of this dude fucking coming out of a lake and just chopping people up is fucking weird. We'll bring the Purge into that. So we're gonna do number 4 here on the list. It's the Conjuring.
That's surprising.
Number 4, 7 films, 54% on Rotten Tomatoes, 58% Rotten. It made $101 million domestically, which is very good for a horror movie. I think I've watched the first Conjuring and never watched any other ones. So if you're a Conjuring fan in the chat, if you want to give your opinion on what you think the Conjuring, so James Wan, who kickstarted Saw and Insidious, began work on The Conjuring in early 2011. The film would center around Ed and Lorraine Warren, a real-life married couple whose paranormal investigations during the 50s and beyond became world-renowned. That I knew it was kind of loosely based on a true story. So is The Conjuring the Raggedy Ann story? If I'm not mistaken, what movie is the Raggedy Ann? City? Is it City?
That's Annabelle.
Annabelle, Jesus.
It's in the same universe, though.
Same universe, though? Like they're combined, they're connected somehow, right?
Yeah. It's the universe of like Ed and Warren Lorraine.
Lorraine Warren, okay.
So Annabelle, they do the Amityville house. Yes. They do the what is it called? The Enfield poltergeist case in England. And then they do the Annabelle, the cursed doll thing.
Right.
Which I only saw the first 2 Conjuring movies, 1 and 2.
I only saw the first one.
I think I saw Annabelle, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
But the first 2 were like, I mean, they're good. You know, there's creepy. There's creepy. There's a lot of jump scare stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I know that they were taking it back to our podcast whiskey. Oh, you guys talked about Lorraine and the Warrens, didn't you? And that, look at you.
Yeah,
well, I was getting down in Texas, shooting guns and eating Mexican food. You guys are
throwing down.
Great podcast.
Tacos.
Yeah. The bacon wrapped shrimp tacos. Those were amazing. So anyway, so in 2013, The Conjuring exploded onto the scene. $41 million opening weekend for a horror movie. That's pretty damn good, especially back then. Had an 86% Rotten Tomato score, the first one. That's pretty good. Most horror movies don't get that high. So it starred Vera Farmiga. I think that's the chick from The Departed.
Farmiga, yeah.
Farmiga, yeah, and Patrick Wilson. Everybody knows Patrick Wilson. Rated R film, blockbuster smash. Wow, it made $300 million worldwide. It's pretty damn good for a budget that it was on. It's a lot of money and opened the door for a new universe of horror films. There you go. So they went to Nuns, and I think then isn't the Nun part of that too?
Yeah,
I think 7 Conjuring universe films released since 2013 have grossed $1.9 billion, and only Curse of La Llorona, which made $120 million worldwide on a $9 million budget. You want to talk about profiting?
Oh, yeah,
shit. That is a movie
was trash, though.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that movie. Let's see. But it dropped. So a lot of the sequels for The Conjuring really did bad. 24% Rotten Tomatoes, 34%. Okay, so you're right. So what was most impressive about Conjuring was the Annabelle spinoff. So the Annabelle was a spinoff of the original movies. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Um, I gotta tell you, I think I remember seeing Annabelle. I just don't remember much. Maybe because I was one of those movies. I'm just like, no, thanks, man. I'm not gonna remember. Um, what's Spider-Man? What's Spider Master talking about here? I don't know if my movie will be good or not. Listen, Spider Master, you put your movie out, you put your heart into it, like we do with all content that we create. Listen, Whiskey Banger and I, when we first started this, had no clue what the hell the show was going to be like. I just said, let's just finally do it. Stop talking. Let's do it. I'll support you, buddy. And again, if Mrs. Cannoli Sasquatch wants to drop the links again for Advent, Wrath, and Spider Master in there, please go subscribe to them. They got some cool content. They're new up and coming YouTubers. We all are. So they definitely support there. So basically that. Okay, so that's that. So number 3. What the hell is this? Number 3 is George Romero's Dead franchises. So there was like Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead. And,
Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, there was a shit ton of those. 9 total films. Now the average score 66%, audience score 59, $22 million budget. And these are older movies. Best films. Do you remember Night of the Living Dead, the original black and white movie? Do you remember seeing that?
I do. Yeah.
My dad's one of my dad's favorite movies. And then so he made that. So they're saying the best 2 films were Night of the Living Dead in 68 and then Dawn of the Dead in 90. I got to go back and rewatch the original Dawn of the Dead. Because that was pretty good. Okay, well 1990 remake of Night of the Living Dead by Tom Savini is a fresh delight. So I remember that remake as well. Here you go. Remember we were talking about 2004 Dawn of the Dead by Zack Snyder was his first film. Wow.
Yeah.
And I actually thought it was okay. It wasn't great, but a 75%. It's still his best reviewed movie. Well, I'm not surprised. Both belong in Horror Remake Hall of Fame. Okay, I'll give you that. They're coming for. Oh God, that scene with they're walking. Were they in the house or walking through a graveyard? And the guy with the glasses, creepy, goes, "They're coming for you. They're coming for you, Barbara." Scared. My dad used to do that shit. Did I ever tell? So real quick, as a horror story, I'm gonna go a little personal here. When we first visited here back in 1989, in the summer before we moved here, we stayed at the Point Tapatio Cliffs, right on 7th Street in Phoenix. For most people who are from this area, you know where that is. I was maybe 9 or 10 at the time, and my brother and I were in the hotel room. My parents were doing some stuff out. So I hear a knock at the door. So I go to answer the door, and there's a man standing at the door with a Jason mask on. And he comes at us in the room. And of course, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I think we're going to get killed by a serial killer. I'm in the middle of the desert. There's nothing around. My brother's laughing his ass off in the back of the room. My mom comes from out around the corner and into the hotel room. My dad takes the mask off. I'm like, first of all, where the hell did you find a Jason mask in the middle of the, like late at night in Arizona back in the 1989? Traumatized for life. I want you to know that. But it was hilarious. I'm not going to lie. But it did give me a little bit of a jolt. Yeah, I remember that Advent. They did remake it in color, and it actually is better in color. But most of the time, some of those remakes are not, but that one was. Okay, moving on to number 2, Whiskey Banger. Top franchises. Alien is number 2.
Really?
Franchises.
That's very surprising.
8 movies, 58% tomato score, audience score 58%, $101 million domestic box office. Best film is, of course, the original. 96% on Rotten Tomatoes, the original.
Dude, it's a classic.
And then I remember the tagline for the original movie. This is haunting. No one can hear you scream in space. Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, it's fucking terrifying.
So people really like this movie. Ridley Scott's one of his best movies. Let's see here. Yeah, and then he had a classic monster creator, H.R. Is it Giger? Something like that.
Dude, I've heard it's so many pronunciations. It's
dude, I don't even
Giger.
Yeah, so the part with the alien bursting out of the guy's stomach was a classic. The robot, what was the robot's name in the movie?
Which one?
Not the second one.
In the first one. In the first Alien, it's
yeah.
Hal. Not Hal.
Yeah. No,
it's not
that's
Hal.
that's
No,
different.
Hal's
No, you're thinking of Space.
freaking 2001 Space Odyssey.
Yeah,
It's
that could be a horror movie.
oh, it's gonna piss me off. I gotta look it up.
Hey, look it up. Anybody know the name of the robot? Is it a symbiote or whatever the hell it was? Android. In the first Alien movie. That was creepy.
Ash.
That's it.
Yeah.
Hal.
I was like, wait.
Hello, David. I can't let you leave, David. That's a fucking horror movie. Is Sandy ahead? Is that Sandra? Oh, it's Joel. Joel, how you doing, Joel? Hey, Joel, I got to talk to you about some things later on. So tomorrow I'm going to text you. I got to chat with you, buddy. Yeah, see, Michelle likes the Hal. I'm just going to do a show of impersonations. What do you think?
Definitely, dude.
Yeah. Hello, Hal. You'll all never leave YouTube ever. I can't allow it. Oh, you got your old YouTube account from 2009. You know what you need to do, Joel? You need to subscribe. Oh, by the way, where have I been?
Yeah, what have you been doing?
I don't know, man. Like, here, I'm going to scroll this. Got
How
Rumble.
we're in, dude. You haven't even
Yeah, I'm on Rumble. I'm on YouTube. Please, let's just do this. Let's just do this one. There we go. Like, subscribe, and share, please. Hit that like button. Smash that like button. Yeah, that helps. Share the video. I don't even care if people don't like horror. I don't care if people don't like me. Share it because we need people to share.
I like you,
I appreciate that, man. It's because I paid you to say that, though.
That's right.
Yeah. All right, and so here we go. Number one horror franchise considered of all time, the Hannibal Lecter movies.
What?
Yeah. Number one.
Where the hell's Jason?
It's not even in here.
What?
When she gave me the list, Mrs. Sasquatch, Cannoli Sasquatch gave me the list. He wasn't even listed. And that there was been how many Jason movies? 1 million?
Like 13.
So I don't know if they're going by overall success. Like as far as so Rotten Tomato score average was 62%. Audience score 72%. Best film, of course, Silence of the Lambs. We all listen. The Silence of the Lambs original is a freaking amazing movie. I think what's his name? Anthony Hopkins is only in the movie a little bit. He steals the movie. I think he won an Oscar for that, didn't he? Yeah, he won Best Supporting Actor, I believe, in that movie. Great movie. That's another movie I can go back and rewatch. I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice candy. Tell me about the wolves. That was a great movie.
Dude, Friday the 13th had 12 freaking movies, and you're telling me it didn't make the top 10?
Didn't make it. I did not even make it to the top 10 on this list. This is now, of course, that's all. Listen, I love Friday the 13th. I think
I'm calling blasphemy.
It's blasphemy. It's bullshit. So yeah, that was number one. Had $130 million domestic haul, and of course, adjusted for inflation, $284 million. Of course, the original movie won 5 Oscars, including Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Director, and Best Adapted Screenplay. Wow. Made it not just the only horror movie to win Best Picture, but also the third film ever to sweep all 5 top Academy Award categories. That's interesting because horror movies don't win those kind of awards. There was an original movie called Manhunter that was the original with I forgot who was in it. God, but Manhunter was before Silence of the Lambs, and it's supposedly a really good movie. So if you haven't seen that, maybe check it out. Red Dragon was another sequel, which I think Red Dragon was the third one. A lot. Red Dragon was good. Ed Norton, it was a good movie. 68% Rotten Tomatoes. Okay. Hold on a second here. I'm just trying to read. Wow, maybe a lot of money. Hannibal made $165 million with a 40% Rotten Tomatoes score. Yeah, the best part of Hannibal was when Ray Liotta got his brains eaten by. Do you remember Hannibal? They took because Jodie Foster didn't want to come back. Mm-hmm. There was that scene where Ray Liotta was, I think he was an FBI agent, and he's cooking his brains in front of him. It was just fucking crazy. Yeah, great movies. Yeah, so going back to Jason. Friday the 13th. The original was very good. Now, of course, back then you had these low budget movies. But what made them great is that they had to work so hard and put so much effort into these movies because you didn't have the special effects. You had all practical effects. And the funny thing is, most people don't even realize Jason wasn't even really he wasn't in the first movie at all until the very, very end. It was all about the mother. Mother's mad at you, Jason. Mommy wants to help you. What is Michelle saying here? I saw it in the theater and basically watched it through my fingers and sweatshirt hood. Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah,
the original Jason movie was creepy. It was good. Then Jason 2, he came in and that's when he started slaughtering people. My favorite Jason movie, which is the most ridiculous, stupidest movie ever, was Jason Takes Manhattan. It was so bad. But at the time, New York City was a shithole then revived. Now it's back to being a shithole. But it was just, he pops up in Manhattan out of the river and he's just going around New York City killing gang members. Yeah, thanks, Joel. I appreciate that, buddy. That was hilarious to me. I think Jason Takes Manhattan. I don't even know what number that was because I don't know. You said 12 movies.
Yeah, there's 12.
Was Jason X the one in space?
I believe so. Yeah,
that probably was one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. Not even good bad, but just bad.
Jason Takes Manhattan is
part 2 was
the 8th movie.
Oh my god, 8th. Okay, yeah, that's a great movie, man. Advent Red said he loves part 3. Yes, yeah. Thanks, Double G, Greg. Yeah, I like Jason Takes Manhattan. It's so stupid, terrible CGI, awful movie.
Well, I like the third one the best because that's when he actually has his iconic mask.
His mask, yes. They were
second
on
one. He had like some stupid fucking. It's like a bag on his head with like a hole cut out for an eye.
Yeah, yeah. You're right. So I think it's hilarious that that franchise is not in there. And again, I don't know if this is going off of just successful franchises or like as far as money and
that's what it sounds like.
That's what it sounds like.
It's like a combination of like scores and gross,
yeah.
whatever.
Overall, other movies. What's some recent horror movies that have been? What do you think? Okay, so what's an overrated horror movie? Let's do this. What's an overrated horror movie like this? Everybody loves, and you're like, it's okay, but it's a little overhyped.
I'm not a huge fan of the Scream franchise.
Ooh, Michelle, really?
Wow. I'd agree with that too.
I didn't like. I will say you're probably not wrong. I don't. I'm gonna go on. I'm gonna say something that's very unpopular here. I did not love the original TV series with Tim Curry. I think played it.
Yeah,
not a fan. The remake movie.
The remake?
I thought the first one was okay. It was okay. I thought it was pretty creepy. They did a decent job modernizing it in a good way. I hated it too. I thought the sequel, the newest one, was so stupid.
I knew Jules was going to call us out.
Yeah, Jules. Yeah, she. Hey, listen, you like what you want. Here's the yeah. Go ahead,
I like the first Scream movie. I think it's a decent movie.
Fun. It's a fun movie.
The franchise, not so much. I wasn't a big fan of Insidious. As far as like we're talking like newer horror movies, I didn't think Insidious was that great.
Yeah. Scream is trash. Filipino Meatball says. Michelle, I kind of agree with you. I think the first remake of it was not bad. It was actually pretty good. It had that 80s vibe. Well, it wasn't the 80s. Part 2, I couldn't stand. I remember part 2. The adults were terrible. The part that lost me is it got a little too Stephen King-ish, where they were in a Chinese restaurant in the second one, and like egg roll, the fortune cookie started dancing. I was like, I'm out. I don't know what the fuck's going on here. I'm out. I don't want to see Chinese food dancing, and I don't know, man. Chopsticks are moving. I'm done. First one was okay. Yeah, like you said, Insidious. I'm trying to think of some newer. Annabelle part of that.
Yeah, like I'd throw Annabelle in there. I'd throw that La Llorona or whatever.
Yeah,
the newer Halloween movies I think are overrated.
I
Well, we all know how you feel about
Oh
the most
God,
recent
don't
one.
even please get me started. The 2018 remake was okay. I think it was serviceable. It was decent. And then Halloween Kills went off. I'm not even gonna fucking say. You want to watch my videos? What I thought about Halloween Ends? You go watch my video from Monday, and I put some clips up on how I feel about that. And now they're redoing The Exorcist with the same people that made Halloween. No, thank you. Please, for the love of God, don't do it. But they're gonna do it. The Lorna movie made me well, because you're a kid. Like, you're supposed to, those movies are supposed. Hey, Jacob Ironside, how you doing, buddy? Thank you for dropping in, man. Appreciate you guys. Got Jacob. Hey, listen, Mrs. Cannoli Sasquatch, please put Jacob Ironside's link, put his name and then his link, so people know who they're being linked to. Maybe do a rerun of Advent, Spider Master, and Jacob Ironside. Thanks for coming by, man. Another upcoming YouTuber, does good work, shouts me out all the time. I'm going to do the same for him. We're all here to support each other in this community. Awesome community we got. I appreciate you coming by, man. Thank you very much. Yeah, so Olivia Lloyd. Hey, Olivia, how you doing? My Met fan friend. Awesome person over in Truth Social. I met her and this group of awesome Met people. We all cried together after the last few weeks. Rob Zombie remake. You know what? The Rob Zombie movie, the remake of Halloween, people liked that. I'm not gonna lie, I actually like the first one. It's a different take on it. What did you think about the Rob Zombie Halloween movies? I didn't like the second one at all. I thought the first one was okay.
I like them. I like a lot of Rob Zombie stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think it's amazing.
Right.
But I mean, I like it. I like Rob Zombie. I like his music.
Yeah. I like this.
Go Mets.
Yeah, no, listen, Olivia, we got a lot of work to do. We're gonna have a little chat on. I want to do at some point during the winter meetings coming up, Olivia, we're gonna get our group of people together. I'm gonna do a Met stream just with Met fans. Whoever wants to come on YouTube with me live, we'll do that. Double G Greg, get in on that. So we'll talk about that off the air. Yeah, no problem, Jacob Ironside, man. Appreciate you, buddy. And again, Mrs. Cannoli Sasquatch, please put those links in the chat. Because now that we can do that, because you're a moderator, you're big time. There we go. Got the links in there. Maybe put the people's names and then the link. Can you do that? You're doing a great job, honey. Love you. The Mets are my favorite horror story. You want to talk about a horror story? Be a Met fan your whole life. That's a freaking horror story because they set you up and they're really bad and they set you up for success and they come crashing down. It's a mess. So overrated. Okay, so I get that. So some people said some people said. So what is one that surprised you where you were like, oh, wow, that movie's actually better than I thought it would be for a horror movie? Or yeah, start there and we'll move on.
A movie that really surprised me.
You like
actually more of a recent movie. That was on Netflix, The Ritual. That movie, surprised the crap out of me. That movie.
I remember. I get my recommendations for horror movies from Whiskey Banger because it's not my favorite genre, but I do appreciate movies like that. The Ritual was creepy as fuck, and the ending threw me off. The ending I did not see. No, Battle of LA was a horror movie because it was retarded to Filipino people. That movie was a horror movie. Advent says be a Carolina Panthers fan. It's equally as bad.
Yeah, guy.
Out there running laps. Yeah, this poor guy's going through some stuff right now as a Carolina Panther fan. I agree that what the hell were we just talking about? Oh, you were talking about the
Ritual.
The Ritual. Ritual was a weird movie, man. I remember when you told me to watch it. It actually sets up as a decent story, and then what happens to these people on their journey through the freaking wilderness? Yeah, and then the ending, didn't see it coming. So if you haven't seen The Ritual, it's on Netflix, right? So go watch that. It's a good it's a decent flick of a horror movie. And I don't mind I think one that is popular that I'm on the fence about still is The Witch.
I liked The Witch. It's not I mean there's some creepiness to it. So
the ending was creepy.
Horror movie, but like I thought the movie was pretty good.
Well, what what I appreciated some things and I hated some things about The Witch. What I appreciate is they try to make it authentic as possible. Like this is a new age, new America. They spoke with the dialect of like that, I don't know, like mixed Latin kind of. First of all, I don't understand what the hell they were saying. I had to have subtitles on because they were speaking early English, American English. Yeah. And I was like, what the hell are you people saying? As the movie goes on, it's a little creepy. It does a pretty good job of building suspense. It's the same director, and please tell me in the chat, maybe Advent knows this, the director of The Northman. And he made another movie called The Lighthouse, I believe, with Robert Pattinson. I actually love The Northman. I think The Northman's not a horror movie, but I thought it was one of my favorite movies of the year. Really weird, but I loved it. He's all, but he's. I'm just trying to read the chat. Chat's blowing up here, man. The Witch Advent says he's all begot good, but we're leaving for greener pastures. I don't know what that means. Talking about McCaffrey? Probably talking about McCaffrey. Yeah. Okay, so Olivia, I love her, man. She's like, I usually don't watch because I'm on the East Coast, and I understand that it's late. But when he said what the topic was, I had to at least check in live. I appreciate that. Blair Witch, she says, I lived in Maryland when that went on, and people totally believed that it was real. Thank you. This is my point. I remember they did this is like the beginnings of like the internet and viral. Robert Eggers, that's the guy who directed The Northman and The Witch. Good call, Advent. I knew you'd know. When like viral campaign, they did an amazing job marketing the Blair Witch Project when it came out, and people really thought it was real. Document style was the first of that kind. Of course, it's been copied and recopied so many times. But I agree, Olivia. That must have been kind of creepy, though, for that area, especially being filmed there. Advent talking about the Panthers again. McAfee is too good to stick with the Panthers. He's getting a bit. Yeah, I mean, Panthers are cleaning house, buddy. Carolina Panthers are cleaning house. They're going to unload everything they can, get under cap space, and rebuild. That's just the way it is. That's what the Giants are doing, too. What are you saying, kiddo? Malignant? I don't know what the hell you're saying.
Malignant?
Malignant, you mean? But you go to school. You know how to spell malignant. We're gonna have a little chat, lady.
Nightbreed was great.
Yes, it was good. I'm not prepared to talk about the Blair Witch. Filipino Meatball says I'm still not ready. Yeah, we're gonna go into that conversation, real quick. Critics about Scream. I would agree with the critics about Scream. 3 stars. Yeah, I agree. It's about right for that movie. Joel says, I was working at AMC when that came out. We were warned in advance about people puking in the lobbies. We thought it was due to gruesomeness, but it was the damn camera work. Yes, Blair Witch Project was a tough movie to watch because the camera never stood still. Nightbreed, criminally underrated. I remember Nightbreed. That was actually a good movie. How come Filipino Meatball is not live with us? That's a great question. Banger, do you have an answer for that? I don't know.
Because he's a puss, and yeah, so basically the kid saw freaking Blair Witch back in the day, and he, pissed his panties, and now he refuses to watch any and all horror movies, which is ridiculous. Like, yeah, there's plenty of movies I watched when I was a kid that scared me, but here I am. I still watch them. I still love them.
Yeah. I think the whole thing was that this is not his forte genre. So what? We could have came on here and made fun of you the whole time. It would have been great. Mike D. Hey, Mike D. I'm here. One of the greats is Friday the 13th, Part 6. I actually like the Friday the 13th franchise. I don't remember Part 6, though. What was Part 6 of Friday the 13th? You remember? I don't remember.
I don't
know. Let me guess. Jason killed people with his mask on. That's all I'm going to say. But I have to go back and revisit that. Oh, you're out with the tiny human. Okay. I understand.
Excuses.
Yeah. You forgot the I. Yes, kid, you did forget the I. Learn how to spell. Part 6 is my favorite. Advent. Okay, hey, Part 6 is apparently which one was what was the name of Part 6? If anybody could tell me.
Jason Lives.
Oh, okay. I remember. I don't know if Diana's still in the chat. She was a minute ago or a little bit ago.
I like the Jason movies, man. They're like
I like the Jason movies. Like, they're fun, man. They're just fun, gory.
Like, to me, the ultimate just slasher horror movie are the Friday the 13th movies.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I admit I like Freddy Krueger better than Jason and Michael Myers and Leatherface because I think he's a more
Hmm,
interesting character.
forgot
I
about
like the
Leatherface.
idea that he can, yeah, like Texas Chainsaw Guy. Like,
The
where's
Massacre was a classic, yeah. But those movies you're right are classic. Jason movies are just something about them are fun.
just
Yeah,
fun,
so
dude? It's like,
six is when the supernatural stuff when he came back from that. Is that when the kids are okay? So it was part six when they're digging him out of the grave, and then something happens, he gets hit by lightning or something, then he's kind of comes back to life. I remember Corey Feldman was in one. Corey Feldman was in part three or four. One of those. You're right, Olivia. You're right. He wasn't definitely one of those. Hockey mask equals murderer. Yes, Michelle.
yep.
To this day, when I see a hockey mask, even during a hockey game, it's immediately what I start thinking of. Um, let's see here. I'm just kind of going through the chat real quick. You guys are just killing it in there right now. 18 people live, man. I appreciate you all. Thank you for coming in. Seriously, it's amazing. Faces of Death. Oh God.
Oh, geez, yeah.
I
I
watched that
remember
in high
seeing those.
school.
Yeah, when I was
Oh
a kid.
yeah, a lot
Like,
of
oh,
people.
what, oh, what's this? Oh,
Yeah. Oh,
Jesus.
Faces of Death. Cool horror movie, and it was some of the most grotesque shit. But a lot of people said a lot of that was staged film stuff. Some of it wasn't. I don't know, but it was creepy. My friend had all of them. We used to watch them after high school, and was never the same again. Traces over Faces. Traces of Death was bad. Traces of Death was worse than Faces of Death, even more gory, and it was supposedly real. I was too scared to live. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I wouldn't to this day. And that was on VHS. That was before technology when you had to actually find the tape, rewind the tape, put it in, and you couldn't just stop on a specific part on a dime like you do today. Lost Boys was a good movie. That's a good 80s movie, the vampire movie that was Kiefer Sutherland, I think, was in that. Yeah. Lost Boys was a good one. That's on Netflix too. I got to start watching all these movies, man. Does the Mets playoff run count as a horror movie? I hate to say it because here's the way I think about that. Wild card games are to me are technically not playoff games, even though they say they are. Mets are a horror story. Yeah. Queen's horror story. Traces of see, Advent knows what Traces of Death is. I'm trying to think of other bad horror movies. It's been such a long day, but bad, overrated. We did overrated, bad. I'm trying to think of some recent movies. Like I said, it's not my genre. Michelle, you're in the chat, right? You're a horror movie fan. Can you give me some movies lately that you did not like or did like as far as horror movies? I actually liked Lost Boys. I don't know why. It's a typical 80s. Yeah, I think was Feldman in that one too, or Corey Haim? They both were. That was coming off the whole not long after the Goonies, I believe, right? Michelle's like, let me think. Here you go. Putting you on the spot. Sharktopus would be that is a bad horror movie, but it's like good bad, right? Or just bad. Sharktopus, yeah, wow. That's a good some good input there, Jacob. I appreciate that. Christine. Overrated Christine. Stephen King movie with a car comes alive.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Michelle. I was just asking of what are more current, like recent horror movies that are either you think are good or kind of overrated, or I just in general. I don't know much about the newer horror movie genre. Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, over 100 years old. Oh, years old of age differences on set. Jesus, Advent. Where do you come up with this stuff? The suns are on. She says, ha, Stovepipe joined the chat. And he says, F you, Christine was great. And Stovepipe's not a horror movie guy. Wow. I haven't watched it. That's how bad it looks. It's a cross between a shark and an octopus. I mean, who wouldn't want to see a movie about a shark and an octopus combining and killing people? Thanks, Jacob. Now that you said that, I'm going to search out this movie. I have to watch this now. The sun's collapse was a horror story. This is like a slash sports horror. Like we can add. Can we? Now, Whiskey Banger, you're a Nebraska fan. Do you count them as a horror story for the last 5 years?
The last dude under the Scott Frost era. Slasher film, dude.
Slasher film. That's pretty frightening. Oh man, you poor bastards. Yeah, sports teams can be horror. Jordan Peele movies, you mean? Us. I haven't seen Us.
That's a good what you said about the Jordan Peele movies.
Yeah. I saw Get Out, and that's pretty much where it ended for me. I have not seen Us, and I have not seen his newest one. I thought Get Out was okay. I think it was a little overhyped. His movies are really hit and miss for some people. I've only seen that one movie though, so I have not seen the other. I'd have to see them to judge. Oh, okay. So Whiskey Banger always talks about this movie, The Sixth Sense.
It's fucking great. One time.
That's what Advent Wrath just said. It sucks because of the big reveal. And now long story. I'm gonna give you a quick shout. My wife had not seen the movie. I went to see it with a buddy of mine. And in the movie theater, we were watching The Sixth Sense. Nobody knew what was coming. So we're in the movie theater, pretty full theater. I'm watching the movie. You know, when you're in the movie theater for the first time watching The Sixth Sense, you're wondering where is this movie going because it doesn't make any sense. I mean, it makes sense. It's not a bad movie, and then the reveal happens, and then like I remember these two women behind me were just throwing popcorn everywhere, like, "Oh my god!" You know, it was amazing. So same year, my dad's at the dinner table. We're at my parents' house eating. Mrs. Sasquatch has never seen this movie. My dad goes, "Wasn't it crazy when Bruce Willis died at the end of the movie, or was dead the whole time?" To this day, my wife will not let him live that down. To this day, it's so funny because whenever the movie pops up somewhere, Bruce Willis, hey Frank, do you remember the time that you ruined The Sixth Sense? For that movie, you cannot rewatch. We did rewatch it, and it just ruined the whole movie for her for the whole time. Hey, Left Eye Ego, my man, how you doing, buddy? At Advent Wrath, he's way overrated. Mrs. Cannoli Sasquatch, Left Eye Ego's in the chat. Can you please put his link also in the chat? By the way, Left Eye Ego and I'm going to be on his channel on Wednesday. We're going to talk about some NFC East football. He's a Cowboy fan. I'm a Giant fan. There's going to be some fireworks.
Go Giants.
Yeah.
Go Cowboys.
But we're going to talk about some football. We're going to set up a time here over the weekend, but I will be on his channel. It's my first time collaborating with a YouTuber. I'm very excited. I love Left Eye Ego and Abomination AJ. Their show is coming up tomorrow morning. So if you want to drop in Left Eye Ego's YouTube channel, I will be watching them tomorrow with Abomination AJ. I believe it starts at like 8:35 or 9 a.m. Our time locally. And then that's Mountain Standard Time. Awesome show, man. Awesome show. No, you're good, buddy. I know everybody, all these YouTube people, we're all busy. So I understand. Doing great, man. Sorry I'm mad late. Don't worry about it, man. And you know the Giants are going down. Listen, you beat us once. It was a good game. You're the better. I'll give it to you. We're still up and coming. But I'm just Monster House. Isn't Monster House the animated movie? It's an animated movie, right, Olivia? Now, is that a good movie or a bad movie? Because I'm not sure. I'm very confused as to what just happened. I know the movie. I've seen it.
Advent commented that Jacob's Ladder is legit. That movie's fucking crazy.
Jacob's Ladder was a fucking crazy movie, man. That movie scared the hell out of me as a kid. That movie scared the hell out of me now. God, what was the actor? Tim Robbins, right?
Yeah.
And he was a Vietnam vet who came back. Weren't they experimenting with stuff with him? And then he came back and from Vietnam and he was all messed up. And then I think at the end of the movie, he was actually dead. And his son was, it was a fucked up movie. Good call, Advent. That was a good call out because I have not seen that movie in a long time. Well, Left Eye, at least I'll have company in Panther's Purgatory. Yeah, I remember that, Olivia. Yeah, I remember Monster House. I think Steven Spielberg has something to do with that, if I'm not mistaken. It was weird animation. Good movie, though. Like, I don't mind a good animated movie. You know, people look down on animated movies. What's your take on animated horror? Like, just movies in general. You like animated movies?
I mean, it depends on what it is. Like,
yeah.
I'm not a fan of any of the new Disney stuff. I just don't.
Well, nobody is.
I don't really like it.
You're not a fan of She-Hulk? That's
no.
Okay.
But I mean, like Pixar movies. Like, I mean, you can go back to like Toy Story and stuff. And those are good, but when it comes to like animated stuff,
yeah.
I mean, I like Nightmare on Elm Street. Nightmare Before. What am I trying to say? Nightmare Before Christmas. Thank you. I do like stuff like that. You know what I meant.
1, 2, Pumpkin King's coming for you. Yeah, I know a lot of these guys in the chat go into this stuff, man, with animation. I like a lot of it. Some of it's nah. I think I told you I've been
Depends on
watching
what it
this.
is.
I've been watching this anime cyberpunk show on Netflix. Only because I play the game. It's actually not bad. So that's always, but I guess that's different. But in general, yeah, animation it depends. Coraline was a good movie. I actually like Coraline. Coraline was weird and very adult. But yes, good call, Olivia. I actually like Coraline. It's a creepy movie, but great animation. I actually like the story too. It was very creepy, very like dark, ominous setting. I liked it a lot. Jeepers Creepers. Okay, now we're going. I mean, everybody knows Jeepers Creepers. Creature is a good TV miniseries from Creature. Good. Oh, really? 1998. Is that where is that streaming, Jacob Ironside? Let me know. I'm good for a good scare. I'm down for a good scare. And Corpse's Bride was popular. Yeah. I'm trying to think of other animated like type. I don't know. That falls in that Tim Burton-ish kind of thing. And Tim Burton make Corpse's Bride?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It just depends. I'm trying to think of like animated horror movies. It's really tough. It's a wide spectrum genre. I just don't. God, I'm trying to think of other stuff.
I mean, there's like Hotel Transylvania, but that's more like
that's more like
cheeky, funny comedy.
Adam Sandler. Yeah, Nightmare Before Christmas, Olivia. You're right. Whiskey Banger just said that. Actually, movie's very popular. It's pretty good because it's one of those movies you can literally watch all the way through for 2 months straight. So, YouTube. Okay, well that's good to know. Creature, 1999 YouTube. I'm gonna mark that down. Yeah, I'm gonna write it down right now. Creature, YouTube. This is what I love about this community. I get more information from the nerd culture stuff and the horror stuff from these people than anywhere else. No, you're good. Oh, it's free. You gotta love free movies on YouTube. Olivia, you're good. You're not getting off track. You're wasn't the Addams Family done as a cartoon? I think there was an animated Addams Family movie. I just don't remember seeing it, but I think you're right. Well, Nightmare Before Christmas is a surefire way to put me to sleep, Joel says.
Dude, my parents were the same way. My sister and I would always want to watch it for Christmas because my sister loves Nightmare Before Christmas. I keep wanting to see Nightmare on Elm Street. Nightmare Before Christmas. It's like one of her favorite Christmas movies, so we would always watch it. My parents are like not having it. They're like, this movie's fucking stupid. I liked it. I mean, I thought it was good.
So you two would watch it together when you could.
Yeah, like my sister and I would watch it.
Yeah. Somebody mentioned Pumpkinhead as not anime. Yeah, I remember Pumpkinhead. That was a good movie.
Was creepy, dude. The freaking monster in that thing was creepy as hell.
Yeah. So that was a good call, Mike D. I like that. Kingdom of the Spiders is so bad. I love watching it. I remember I know of the movie Advent. I just never seen it. Cube is good. See, this is what I mean. Arachnophobia. I guess that's more of like technically it would be horror. I hated that movie only because I fucking hate spiders.
Fuck spiders.
No, thank you. No, thank you. Movie gave me freaking. After that movie for a long time, every time I felt something, things were crawling on me. You have those little phantom itches, and I'm like, oh my god, it's a spider. Eight-legged
Freaks was awesome.
It was a good movie.
Yeah,
good call, Joel. I like that. The author that wrote Jaws, Creature, is based off one of his other. But oh wow, okay, I got it written down right here. Creature, 1998. I'm gonna check it out. It's a mini series. So how many episodes are in there, Jacob? Because I'm very curious to watch that now. Perfect Blue, creepy anime. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is why I love these people. I don't know what the hell they're talking about, but they're going to give me
because suggestions to watch, dude.
Suggestions are amazing, and this is why I love the YouTube community that we're part of, because I get information of stuff that I'm not an expert on, and these people come in with this knowledge, and it's stuff that I normally wouldn't watch, but I will now. It's just a fine line of coming up with time, because the one thing about being a YouTuber now and working a full-time job is just coming up with time. Bless you, Whiskey.
Thank you.
Oh, 2 hour and a half. Oh, that's perfect. I could get through that. Definitely. Perfect Blue. It's 8-legged freaks filmed at the Old West. Wow. 59th Avenue in Northern. Really? I never knew that. There was a lot of movies filmed in Arizona, especially in Phoenix back then, I guess. Do you remember when Disney used to make Goosebumps style Halloween movies? Well, we watched a movie called Hollow that you would think was one of those kinds, but it was definitely not a kid's one. I do remember Goosebumps. This is when Disney was normal. I remember Goosebumps. Isn't it a book series too, if I'm not mistaken? As Whiskey Banger sneezing into his shirt.
I'm dying.
Those allergies are creeping up. Huh? You got 20 more. 20, 20. You only got 24 more minutes. Whiskey Banger, hang in there. I do know. I don't. Hollow sounds very familiar to me, Olivia. I do. It rings a bell. Rings a bell. Hey, Sean Landrigan, hi US. How you doing? Hey, Mrs. Cannoli Sasquatch, you want to throw in Sean Landrigan's US? I hope I'm saying your last name right. He's a good dude too. He recently just subscribed, so I'm gonna give. I think I did subscribe to him, but anybody else in the chat, again, Mrs. Cannoli Sasquatch, drop Sean's link into the chat, please, and thank you for joining, buddy. I really do appreciate the support. I appreciate everybody. This week has been a whirlwind. My horror story for myself is my OCD kicks in. And Whiskey Banger knows this. I'm constantly counting my subscriber numbers, which I was told from the beginning not to do because you're just going to drive yourself crazy. Got a lot of support and love from people I like on this community, and it just blew up this week. Not always going to happen. Doesn't work that way all the time. You got to work your ass off. We've been working our asses off. Behind the scenes, I got some stuff. We got some stuff. No, of course, Sean. Hey, this is what we do, man. We support each other. We got to support each other. I got some stuff working on the scenes. Mrs. Cannoli Sasquatch is getting ideas for merchandise. It might be a Cannoli Sasquatch merchandise coming up first, and then we're going to work towards Whiskey Banger merchandise, maybe, and Whiskey and Cannoli's merchandise, and maybe for certain Diana, we're going to get you maybe a Filipino meatball shirt down the road. So, but we're going to work it slow. First, it's Cannoli Sasquatch, just because I already have my avatar. Then we're going to work on getting Whiskey Banger an avatar. And then we're going to work on a lot of things. We got a lot of plans. I got a website I just purchased that we have to set up. I have to. So I have also a couple other things in the works I don't want to talk about yet because nothing's official. We're going to do some collaborations here in the near future. I have been talking to some other YouTubers about getting together. Now that I'm home with better equipment, starting on Monday, I'll be able to do more. I got plans for us. Plans for us. Whiskey Banger and I, when we initially set this up, just to get off the subject, we did it as a fun project. We said, let's just do it because we would hear people talk online. We have our favorite podcasts, and we'd be like, you know what? Not that we can do it better, but we can do this. I think we're interesting, sexy people. Am I right, chat? Come on. And then we started slowly, I think, getting better and better and better. And this YouTube thing is not necessarily easy because there's a lot of editing and behind the scenes stuff, but I love doing it. And I never really complain because I love doing it. And I got a partner here who's willing to embarrass himself with me every Friday and especially put clips about peeing sitting down. If you want to watch those shorts, go on my YouTube channel, like, subscribe, and share. Please. I got to figure out the stream elements thing. I have a stream element thing. It's like a bot automatically, but it's supposed to automatically pin things to the, I don't know. Listen, I don't know what I'm doing yet. I think it's because I'm working off this laptop. On Monday, I'll have better equipment. So this will work. And Stovepipe, I want to thank you for sending me back home to work. I appreciate you. Yeah, I mean, listen, we all want to continue on with this thing. And I think the growth this week shows that people are catching on. Got a long way to go, man, before monetization, before any of this. We have a long road, but it was a good sign that, hey, we're here. People like it. You might not like me, but how could you hate this face? I mean, and look at this guy. Look at this guy. Come on, look at this stud. And then eventually we're going to maybe introduce more people. Of course, we already introduced Mrs. Cannoli Sasquatch. Well, she will be on the show next week. Eventually, I would like to get Mrs. Whiskey Banger on here. That's up to her. It's up to Whiskey Banger. Cool, man. I think it would be a great show to have us. We'll see. We might have. Listen, there's a lot going on. Maybe by the end of the year, we can have a massive show with a bunch of people on it. Advent Wrath. You'll get there before you know it. Thanks you, Olivia. Well, thanks to people like you and all the people on Truth Social and social media and all these people supporting Left Eye Ego, all these people, Double G Greg, all you people, you're awesome. Advent says the Phantom of Carnage and Haxon, both 20s movies. See, this guy's going back to the 20s. That's some deep knowledge right there for horror movies. Let me see. Sean says, I don't actually make any content, but it's cool to see people that do. Hey, listen, I'll still support your channel. We'll still put it out. Why not, right? But thank you for supporting me and coming through. And again, what we like to do is on Fridays have a podcast style show. We're sticking with Halloween themes. See, in Stovepipe Whiskey Bang, you have a friend here. I'm going to put this on the.
Thank you.
Well, he's been doing it forever, and I used to make fun of him just because it was easy to make fun of. Superior way to pee. I mean, you're not wrong in the sense where it's just easy and you don't make a mess, right? So,
yeah, I mean, I had mentioned the other, on one of the last shows, if I'm drunk or it's 2:00 in the morning and I'm tired, but dude, a lot of times, like even when I'm at work, I want to mess around on my phone. So like, if I can't like play a game on my phone while I'm holding my, pecker.
You want your Johnson?
Yeah. Slapping the Johnson around. So I just sit down.
See, here's my boy.
AJ coming
Abomination AJ comes into the chat. Finally. We've been waiting for you, man. I know you've been busy, but thank you. You know what? See, and you know what? I'm going to apologize. I used to not make fun of people for sitting when they peed. I tried it recently, and it actually does make sense. You're sitting on a public toilet. Where are you at, man? Drop Abomination AJ's link in the chat, please. He's peeing. No, he said he's peeing in a public toilet. I don't know where that is. Somewhere in Texas, somewhere. Yeah, Olivia, this is part of the horror genre. It's a horror of talking about men sitting and peeing. I told you guys I would drop your links to the chat. Abomination AJ, listen to me. You want good content about what's going on in pop culture right now? Please subscribe to Abomination AJ. This guy is freaking blowing up right now. I think he's at 530 subscribers. He's on his way. This dude's going to be monetized soon. Please follow him. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I wouldn't sit in a public toilet. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I read that wrong. Okay, so he would. No, I wouldn't either. No. So recently I've been working at an office location, and I refused to go to the bathroom at this place unless I was the good thing is I did have a private bathroom that I used. I found that out later on, so it was much easier to go to the bathroom. I agree. I don't care what that shitty little thin tissue paper you put on the toilet does nothing. Does nothing to protect you from anything because there's wet spots all over the toilet, and you're like, where did that come from? I'm peeing. Oh, R2, the Icky. There's another dude. Thank you for coming into the show. This guy's an awesome moderator for JT Gunn Late Night with Cap. Again, ass gasket.
That's exactly what it is.
Oh, man. We got a great chat going on here, man. Mrs. Cannoli Sasquatch, please drop R2, the Icky. Drop his link in there as well. The guy's hilarious, man. He's awesome on social media. You guys are awesome. And look, Abomination AJ, we gave you a subscriber. It Follows was a good movie, Michelle. Now, that movie I liked. That was one of those movies I was going to put in that category of surprisingly decent horror movies. I don't know if you saw It Follows.
Yeah, it's good.
Very good.
I like it because it's not like your typical, super scary, spoopy movie.
Yeah.
It's just kind of.
It's good. It has a good story. I actually like the story. I also have another channel with JT. Yes. You know what? You do. You want to send me that link maybe? Or what there's so many people with so many channels. Yes, I do. I just drop it to me, maybe message me on the side on Twitter and I'll drop it into the chat. Yeah, R2 Icky's awesome, man. He's fucking hilarious. This dude has helped me out with how to get certain thumbnails and stuff off of not thumbnails, but like screen capture stuff. The guy's awesome, dude. I'm chilling with the wife. Bobby says watching stuff. Hey, I appreciate you, man. I just appreciate you joining, dude. I'm gonna be chiming in on your show tomorrow, AJ, in the morning. I'll be there. Same thing, basically. I got a lot of stuff that I do in the Saturday mornings. You got to remember, you guys are in Texas, and when your show starts, it's like 8:30 in the morning here. And Left Eye Ego's his partner, and he's laughing his ass off because you're laughing because we're okay after the weekend. Okay. Mrs. Sasquatch, go to After the Weekend's channel. I forgot about that channel. God, that's a great channel. And Whiskey Banger. When you get off, go subscribe to After the Weekend. They review retro movies, very 80s style. Please subscribe to them as well. So drop After the Weekend's link in the chat, please. Thank you. Wicker Man, the Wicker Man. Are you talking about the one with Nicolas Cage?
That's the bees.
Not the bees. The Student of Prague, 1913 is something different. Advent, you're coming with some knowledge, man. I love it. The original Wicker Man. There were some movies that Advent mentioned here. Yeah, we go off the rails on this. We were talking about horror movies most. Midsummer. Okay, I'm going to talk about Midsummer.
Oh my God.
What's
your opinion on that movie?
I'm not a fan of it.
I'm not either.
And I loved his first movie, the director. Tell me the director. He did Hereditary, which I thought was fantastic.
Hereditary was great.
Freaking great. Midsummer was a little too off the rails.
Dude.
Hey, R2 Icky, I'm down, man. I think I talked to JT about doing some stuff on his show. But yeah, man, I'm down for whenever. I'm working from home now, so I have a lot more time, especially after work. I'm down, man. We'll definitely get together with me on that, R2 Icky. I want to do the show. I love you guys. I love your content on both channels. The Mist was you know what? The Mist was a good movie. The Mist was the Stephen King adaptation. I think it was Frank Darabont, right? He the one who did Shawshank. He did The Green Mile, and I did The Mist. Yeah, right? That was the one with they're all stuck in the supermarket, and Mist comes, and there's like monsters in it. And that ending of that movie was fucked up, man. The Mist was depressing at the end because in the end, everybody commits suicide, and then he's the one who gets saved at the end when the military.
He's about to freaking do it.
Yeah.
And then the military shows up, killing all the freaking.
Yeah, it was good. The Mist was good. Hereditary was great, man. The Hereditary was creepy from the beginning to the end.
Yeah, awesome. Hereditary was really good. I liked it.
Abomination AJ lying. He's sitting down in a public bathroom. 7-Eleven is the amount of times he spends there. Tell you what. Let me see. Who else is in the chat? I'm just going with them. Sorry, I'm just going. Hey, Frankie. Frankie from New York City. Is Tootsie considered a horror movie? Fucking great. Go Tootsie, go. Hey, I love that movie. That's old school right there, man. Yes, R2 Wiki. Cool. Sounds like a plan working from home with that casket free life. It is fun working from home because you can shit whatever you want. Yeah, the ending of The Mist, it was hard. As a parent, yes. As a parent, it was a very dark ending. I have a daughter, and it did kind of sit with me. Yes. Let's see who else. Make fun of Jeff McNeil. Oh God, that's Jeff McNeil's baseball player. Olivia loves him. The Thing, Alien, and Jaws are my top 3 scary. See, we were just talking about that at the beginning of the show. Those top 10 franchises of all time listed, and easily. Yes, The Thing is probably the best one. Alien is amazing, and Jaws is probably one of the best movies ever. You could put in the top 10 best movies ever made. So I agree with you, Artiki. This is good. My friend is watching The Smile right now. I want to watch Smile. I do want to watch Smile. And anyway, After the Weekend, go subscribe to them again. R2Icky, go subscribe. Follow them on social medias. Awesome people. Smile, I want to watch. Mike makes fun of him. Yeah, I know Mike. Mike loves Jeff McNeil. R2Icky, that killed me for the longest time too as a parent. Yeah, I didn't know where the movie was going, and I really thought they sold the movie well, The Mist, where they really made you think that they had no hope. And then that ending was freaking dark. And then the one guy who suggests the thing to do, he's the one who lives. And he has to live with that his whole life now. I did watch that stream, Jacob Ironside and Pops. Pops is another one. Pops is awesome. You want to watch some good. He was I think he wasn't involved in the movie industry, Pops. That guy's awesome, though. He shouted me out the other day. Subscribe to Pops. He does awesome content on movies, reviews. He did Jaws the other night. He did Argo, I think, yesterday. Amazing. They go into really deep detail. Go subscribe to these people. The dad was horrible. It was horrible. Greg, Double G Greg with his voice dictation. You're having some trouble. All night he's been having trouble with his voice dictation on his phone. My dad does that. My dad sends me shit in Greek all the time. Like, what is this text message? Oh, I'm sorry. I was using my voice on the phone. Stop using the voice dictation. What are you doing? Yeah. Pops is great, man. He goes into detail on a lot of Return of the Living Dead. Yes, I remember that, Advent. That was a good movie. God, the chat just blew up all of a sudden. Jaws made me want to swim with sharks to see them up close. It made me do the opposite, Mike D. It made me scared shitless to go into the water.
Never walk into the ocean again.
Nah, that movie scared me for life, man.
Nope.
Yeah, you're a better man than me, man. If you want to swim next to sharks, I'll go for it. I just don't want you to become shark jerky after that. The Rogue Attraction does that to JT and me while he texts us. Yes, Rogue Attraction's another good channel. God, there's so many people. Yeah. Yeah, it's great. Like I said, the community's great, man. There's so much knowledge and so much collaboration. Voice dictation is a pain in the neck. One time I called my friend Gummy Dummy. Craig, are you all right, man? I love this new feature on the iPhones now. I don't know if you noticed this, Whiskey Banger. When you actually text someone, you can actually correct the text now. So you can edit text messages now, which is weird. Like, because they'll see the original one and then it'll come up as edited, man. Technology's creepy. The Watcher. Okay, I was gonna say. Yeah, Left Eye Ego Pops is awesome, man. The Watcher. The Watcher. What is that a movie? You know what The Watcher is, Whiskey Bag? I don't know what that is.
I don't.
Tell me what that is, Olivia. I told this story to Jacob of Pops. Jaws made me afraid to use the toilet as a kid. Water in the toilet, water in the... Yep. A 5-year-old scared to take a shit. That's amazing. That's amazing. That's interesting. Oh, it's a show on that. Okay, I know what you're talking about now. Yes, I have seen the promotions for The Watcher. Yeah, we got 20 people live in this place, man. Hey, guys, I really appreciate all the love. Seriously. We appreciate it. I love doing this podcast, and I love doing my own streams. So now I got to come up with some content for Monday if you're all going to join. Please like and subscribe and share, though. Hit that like button, man. Smash that like button. So happy that you were here, Livia. Yeah, Greg, I love Double G Greg. Double G Greg is my hype man. Guy goes all over social media to hype the show. You can correct a tweet. You just got to pay $4.99 a month. By the way, speaking of Twitter, did you see the Elon Musk story that he wants to fire 75% of the Twitter employees when he takes over?
I did not, but that would be.
He wants to get a skeleton crew in there. I think it was like from 7,500 employees to 22,000 or something.
Jesus.
And I'm just like, why does Twitter have 7,000 employees?
And what the hell do they do?
They're all communists anyway. You never know when a shark might pipe up out of the toilet. That's very true. Totally is your biggest fan. Haha. Why not 100%? That's a good question, Mike D. I'm not sure.
Yes, the X-Files episode with that sewer creature scared the crap out of me.
That was a good show. It was. I know Michelle, my cousin Michelle, loved the X-Files.
Creepy as hell.
And it's sad because the reboot of the X-Files, not so good. No. He wants nothing but people who actually work. So 2,000 engineers. I like that. So you have a smart leader and a boss now who actually wants people to do their jobs that actually contribute to the company. I love it. Yeah, the X-Files was Michelle's favorite. I mean, I remember, God, when we were younger, it's all she talked about. It took me a little late to get on the train. But it was a good show. It was unique. And you know what? A lot of the stuff that happened in that show makes me wonder if they knew stuff and just put it into the show. Did you talk to Ethan Klein about... Oh, Ethan Klein, that piece of shit. So I don't know if you heard the story, Whiskey, where Ethan Klein's a popular YouTuber. How? I don't know. Said if there was a new Holocaust that Ben Shapiro should be the first to go.
What the fuck?
So he got banned and became a victim and cried about it.
Good. He deserved it.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit at Ethan Klein. American Horror Story, not a fan. No, not a fan. I think I am not a Ryan Murphy fan. I think Ryan Murphy's shows suck. I think they're overrated. I think he's trash. I think he's extremely untalented. That's just me. So you know what? They didn't do a Bigfoot episode. You know how upset I am about that? My people were not represented in an X-Files show. I feel misrepresented. I think I need reparations for that. Yes, Mrs. Cannoli Sasquatch. Ethan got banned. Original Night of the Demon. I remember that movie. I would shit on Ethan Klein's car. Oh my god, that is freaking funny. Whiskey Bangers. I'm sorry. Filipino Meatball says Klein wouldn't say that to anyone's face. No, he's a piece of shit. Guy's a wimp. He's a coward. He hides behind his YouTube channel. I don't even know how he's funny. You look at the guy. He's like 100 pounds overweight. He's never happy. He puts on this fake persona of being woke and tolerant to all left-leaning ideals, and he's a moron. You think Ben Shapiro really gives a shit about that dude? Ben Shapiro could buy him out 100 times over. So that's how successful that dude is. Ethan used to be. He did. Ethan wasn't a bet. He was in the old days. He wasn't funny. He was funny. He became part of the I call the Disney regime, the new woke entertainment regime. Body Snatchers. Oh, what's the movie with the wrestler? Oh God, when he wears the he wears the glasses and you can see the aliens with the glasses on. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's the
I came here to kick ass and chew gum.
Yeah,
and I'm all out of
bubble gum.
And I'm all out of bubble gum. What the hell was the name of the movie? Roddy Piper. They Live. That's it. Good call. They Live. That was a good movie. Rest in peace, Roddy Piper. Yep. Roddy Piper. That was a fun movie. That was a good movie, man. Those are good movies back then. Just fun. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of some other horror movies. What are some 80s horror movies? They Lived, Chew Bubblegum, and Kicking Ass, and I'm all out of gum. I remember that. My files back in the day was Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I remember Buffy. Listen. I remember the movie with Christy Swanson.
Yeah.
And Jason. Who was the guy from 90210 that was in that movie? My wife would know.
Jason Priestley.
Was it? No, not Jason Priestley. It was the other guy that played.
Oh, it's no, it's the other guy. It's the guy.
Oh God, I don't even know. It's on the tip of my tongue. Luke Perry. There you go.
Luke Perry. Yes.
Boom. Yeah, I had a little thing for Christy Swanson back then, so I used to love Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Sleepaway Camp. Look at Michelle's Bringing the Fire. The Howling was a fucking scary movie. Oh God, the werewolf movie. Hatchet was a good slasher series. Look, April Fools. I remember April Fools, the movie. Didn't they make a few of those though, Michelle? I do remember that. Chat. Look at this. John Carpenter, 11-minute fight scene. Wow, I didn't know John Carpenter did They Live. That makes sense. The fight scene in the hallway. I do remember that now. I got to rewatch a lot of these movies, man. I love the Buddy movie with Luke Perry. Buffy movie. I like the Buffy movie. It was funny. Who played Dracula? Was it one of the Sutherlands, right? Played the main guy. I remember thinking of the wrong movie. Christy Swanson's still a babe. She's a good looking woman. Even next, she's conservative too, which is interesting. But I had a crush on her back then. See, Miss Cannoli Sasquatch, Wolfen, Leprechauns. Come on, you're Irish, aren't you? Yep. He's not. Are you drinking? What are you drinking there, Whiskey Banger?
I got a little Juicy Haze IPA.
You realize that when you go on this keto diet, you can't drink whiskey, right?
Yeah, dude, I'm done.
You're done. Your life's over. You're gonna be okay. I'm
gonna be drinking avocado juice and avocado juice. Out.
Yeah, just getting the keto shits. Wait till you get that keto flu in the first few weeks. When you literally feel like you have the flu. Yeah, it's good. You're going to get irritable and snap at people. And then you're going to break somebody in half. American Werewolf in London, we did talk about Artuki. Yeah, that was a great movie, man. That scene when he turns is fucking creepy, man. Michelle, what does it say? Monster Squad. Let me tell you something about the Monster Squad. I just was watching this the other day. Monster Squad is the most underrated movie ever. Awesome 80s buddy get together and fight every monster movie. I love the Monster Squad. Who are you? We're the Monster Squad. Rutger Hauer was the bad guy. Okay, he was the vampire. Right. Okay, I remember that now. You little bitch. I remember when he fucking slaps her. Donald was her handler and Pee Wee Herman. Pee Wee Herman was a vampire and they stab him and he takes like 15 minutes to die. Okay, Donald Sutherland was Buffy's mentor. See, this is why I need you people. I'm old and I can't remember things. People Under the Stairs, Joel. That was a good one. You keeping up with me, Banger, man? These guys are flying on the chat, man.
Dude, I'm looking up some of these movies too.
The Blob was good. Good call, Michelle. Kiefer Sutherland was in The Lost Boys. He'll be the Chi T Frolicker. Yes. Right. Let's see here. Nosferatu. Yes, was that
Nosferatu guy. Come on.
Nosferatu. Jesus, that was with was that William Dafoe? Didn't he play him? I don't know, man. These guys are coming with some fire right now. We revived the Monster Squad. Yes, the reason why I watched Monster Squad is because after the weekend on that channel, they reviewed the Monster Squad. They got me right into that movie again. I had to watch it right after that. Awesome review of that movie. It was so much fun. Yes, the song, Michelle, is great. People Under the Stairs legit freaked me out. And I'll tell you a horror movie, Ethan Kline's Sex Life. Jesus Christ. Who would touch that guy? Whiskey Banger, look up a photo of Ethan Kline and tell me if you would get with that. Friday Night, Olivia, yes. Pee Wee Herman death scene. Yes, that scene cracked me up. I think Buffy the Vampire Slayer on one of the streaming things. I gotta watch that. He takes he's pretending he's dying. Yeah.
Yeah, I know who this dude is.
He's a piece of shit. I'm 39. I can't give up this knowledge. No, I'm 43 and I just can't remember anything anymore. So God bless you. You can Creep Show. Good call, Michelle. The Blob. We did House of Wax with Vincent Price. Wow, we're going old school, man. Fear the Beardo. Listen, Fear the Beardo has been an awesome contributor. Fear the Beardo is awesome. He's got his own content. So, Mrs. Cannoli Sasquatch, Fear the Beardo. Please shout him out. This guy is on Sports Wars for Geeks and Gamers. He does some other stuff for Geeks and Gamers. And by the way, Fear the Beardo, I love the commercial that you're in, the ad on Jeremy and Geeks and Gamers content now at the end. Awesome. Fear the Beardo's on Twitch. Guy's awesome, man. Games. This guy's awesome. He's been a good supporter of mine since I first started. I go on his stuff and help him out as much as I can. These guys are killing it tonight, man. You guys are just awesome. Hellraiser. I can't keep up with you people. God. House of Wax. Thanks for dropping by, Fear the Beardo. Mrs. Cannoli Sasquatch, please drop his link in for his YouTube channel in the chat. The Hitcher. The Hitcher. Yes, I remember that movie. Frank Darabont wrote the Blob. I did not know that. Creep Show. Tales from the Crypt. Do you remember Tales from the Crypt? That was a great show.
I do. I used to watch that a lot.
Tales from the Dark Side movie. I actually showed that to my kid recently because she had to learn. She's got to learn about good stuff, not the crap that's on today. Advent, Wrath, Creep Show. Nice. Yes. These guys are killing it. I like the first Scream, but everything after that we're all clones. Yeah, we were just talking about that. Whiskey Banger even said that the first one was okay. After that, it kind of The Hills Have Eyes. You guys are bringing fire. I'm not sure where they mentioned Poltergeist. Okay, that's the movie I forgot to mention. I guess you could consider Poltergeist a horror movie. It was Steven Spielberg, I think, who made it.
Yeah, for sure.
Probably my favorite movie in that genre. Now that we're talking about that, and he brought that up, thank you so much for bringing that up. Poltergeist was amazing because it had a good story. And I love that afterlife stuff and the whole ghost thing. Amazing. Good call, Double G, Greg. Toxic Avenger. I don't know if that's a horror movie. No problem, Fear the Beardo, man. I appreciate you subscribing to my channel or following me on Twitter. Sorry. And then I don't know if you are subscribed to me. I'm sorry. I just jumped the gun there, but I am subscribed to you. I love all your content, man. So good job. Beardo is a legend. His voice. This guy should be doing voiceovers. Twilight Zone is great. Charles Bronson did play the mood. Yes. House of a Thousand Corpses. Look at this Salty Nerd highlight. Dude, we're getting so many people in this chat right now. Salty Nerd Highlights is another awesome person. Another person on YouTube, content creator. Mrs. Sasquatch. Mrs. Cannoli Sasquatch, you're being called to the room. I need you to put Fear the Beardo links in the chat and also Salty Nerd Highlights. And Whiskey, she's got it. She's on it. Hey, thanks for coming by, Jacob Ironside, man. Listen, I really appreciate you. I'll be checking your channels out. I got notifications on. I appreciate you dropping by, man. Thanks a lot again for the support. And have a great night, man. I'll be talking to you soon. As the dog's howling through that's a horror movie. Dog's name is Zelda, by the way, because my favorite video game ever. Link to the Past. Whiskey Banger knows that. So I had a name. Yeah, it's the greatest game ever. I'm sorry. We got Tremors. Oh, I love Tremors, man. Kevin Bacon. Come on. Let's see. The Thing. We talked about The Thing. Yes, Joel. Great movie. Toxie. What a great guy. You guys are nuts, man. What is the one with Billy Shatner? God, these guys are just bringing. Thank you, Fear the Beardo. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate your support. I love what you're doing on your own channels. I love what you're doing on Sports Wars. I love your work with Geeks and Gamers. I love Geeks and Gamers. I wish I was going to Orlando next week with you guys, but I'll be watching. I watched The Toxic Avenger at too young of an age. Messed me up. Yes. The Fly. Did we mention The Fly?
We didn't, but that is
The Fly was a great movie. How you feeling there, Banger?
Good, man.
You hanging in there? Yeah. Anytime you want to go, dude. I know it's late.
I'm trying to keep up with this freaking chat.
I know the chat is blowing up, man. So anytime you got to go bounce, you're tired. I got it, dude. I know you got a lot of shit going on over there. So just let me know. We are naming random anything. We're just going through a list, Michelle. I love this. I am Salty Nerd Highlights. I run that. You do what? Don't you moderate for everybody? R2. What part of what? I'm going to add you as a moderator to my channel. How about that? I'm on Mondays and Fridays. Just so you know. Just let me know. Silent Hill was the first one. Not that scary, but I didn't. Yeah, Silent Hill wasn't bad. Silver Bullet. I do remember that. That was a good Maximum Overdrive. Is Maximum Overdrive the one with? Oh my God, Charlie. Oh God, what's his name? Emilio Estevez with a car, like the cars and shit come to life. Okay, we got Salty Nerds. You think in the chat? Child's Play. Yeah, we talked about Child's Play. Not a fan of Whiskey Banger's. Not a fan. But yeah, it's popular. Maximum Overdrive was great. If I'm not mistaken, that's Emilio Estevez, right? The Fly was creepy. Scream hit at the right time toward the end of the slasher craze. You're right. They even that's why they made fun of it. I actually like the movie The Mummy. I guess you could kind of count that as horror, but I actually like that first one. I didn't love the second one, but I like the first one. Oh, you make all the videos. Ooh. You're just a man of many talents, R2. Green Goblin truck, AC/DC bitches. What the fuck? We just went so far off here. The Fly with Vincent Price. Yes, The Fly was great. The First Predator. We talked about The First Predator. Amazing movie. Can watch that movie 100 times. It came from outer space. These guys, I can't keep up with you guys. Going nuts in the chat. Whiskey Banger's, he's all overwhelmed. He's tearing up over here. Just, he's all misty. You guys are just bringing it, man. Yeah. You guys killed it today in the chat. We got up to 22 people at one point watching. You guys are awesome, man. I love the support you guys are all giving us. Whiskey Banger's having an allergy crisis again.
Yeah, I might have to bounce. My allergies are kicking in crazy.
No, I got you, dude. I got you. Let me just see what's going on. It's okay, Whiskey. See, Michelle says it's okay. You don't have to cry. I think that's pretty much. The Tingler 1959. God, these guys are coming with like every piece of knowledge. Listen, you guys, Funny Games is a messed up film. Yes, I do remember Funny Games. I haven't seen that one in a long time. Wow. What else came from outer space? Because I guess this is a wide. I didn't realize how much of a wide area genre this is. Whiskey. What is your whiskey of choice?
Jack Daniels.
I hear babies and I hear dogs.
Oh, that's the little Easton baby. He decided to wake up and he wanted to hang out.
Oh, what up, buddy?
He's not happy right now.
He's like, wait, why are you still doing this YouTube thing? You should be sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a Jack Daniels guy. He's traditional. I know there's, I don't know. Is there any other whiskeys out there that you?
Yeah, I like Bullet. I like
Jameson and whiskey.
Yeah, Jameson's good.
Gojira. Yes, Gojira was good. 13 Ghosts was creepy as hell. Shaun of the Dead is hilarious. These guys are coming with movies I just forgot about. Ghost Ship. I'm glad that Double G Greg brought up Poltergeist before because I do love that movie. Got a sex chat bot coming through.
Sasquatch, I'm going to get out of here.
All right, buddy. Go ahead, man. I'm sorry to keep you, dude. Hey, dude. Great show as always. Go take care of your business. And
yeah, it was great.
I will see you next Friday, of course. We're going to have a fun show. Next Friday, we're going to be dressing up for Halloween. We're going to have a great time. Tell Cassie I said hello.
Yes.
Yes. I'll talk to you tomorrow, buddy.
All right, bud.
Thanks, man.
All right, thanks.
Let's see here. That was Whiskey Banger. Poor guy, man. He must be exhausted. Got a new kid on the way soon, so he is hell. Sex chat, yeah. Where's my moderator? The only thing from Canada worth mentioning is Canadian Club. The Tingler, Vincent Price. Yes, yeah. Whiskey's guy's killing it for me, man. He's got a 2-year-old and a newborn coming in December. He's got a very busy life, so you don't see many walls decorated with balloons these days. That is a good point. Well, R2, he did have a baby shower for his new baby coming, and that Mrs. Cannoli Sasquatch helped decorate, so that's why he has balloons. It's a cool background, though, but I mean, come on, look at this. Mrs. Sasquatch outdid herself. Look at this. This is amazing. Just wait till Christmas. Look at this. The Purge. We got blinking demons. I wake up to this shit in the morning. It's over for me. I'm gonna jump through. Look at this. Imagine seeing that coming down the stairs at night. You forget to turn it off. How do you pronounce that, R2? Log of. I can't even say it. I'm not gonna pretend to say it. Thank you, Olivia. I appreciate you. My wife goes all out for these things. When we first started doing these streams, I didn't have a great background. I have limited space in my house. Thanks, Mike D. So we said, let's just have fun with it. And she's great at decorating. And it's going to turn in after Halloween. It turns into a fall thing. And then Christmas, you will see a cool Christmas background for our shows. Next week might be a little different. Listen, everybody in the chat. Log of Vulin. Thank you, buddy. I'm a little slow. Next week for our show, we're going to do the most haunted places in America. Mrs. Cannoli Sasquatch will be on the show, but we'll be dressed up a little bit. I'm going to be wearing a mask. Whiskey Banger is going to be dressed up. The wife is going to be dressed up. Mrs. Cannoli Sasquatch. So listen, I want you to come to the show and enjoy it. Same time. You're a little fat. Oh my God. You're fine. Ghost Ship isn't. Yeah. You guys are coming with some amazing movies. I have like all these movies written down here and in my Google search. Gettysburg. What is Evil Dead? I forgot about Evil Dead. God, you guys are killing me. I am not dressing up as a Sasquatch, and I'll tell you why. Because every Sasquatch mask that I found, which that would have been the obvious thing to do. No, I wouldn't be able to breathe in a Sasquatch mask. That is a great idea, though. But I did think about the Sasquatch thing. Cannoli Sasquatch, haha. I will be dressing up as something else, though, just this time. But yes. Yeah, I remember that part in Ghost Ship. That was crazy. Mike D, you cracked me up, man. The Evil Dead trilogy was pretty good. I love the first one. And they got crazier. This is my boomstick. I remember that. When he goes into the medieval times. That was awesome. Hail to the king, baby. Dead Alive. Wow. You guys are, again, this movie genre thing, I just forget about all the damn good movies that there were, especially in the horror genre. You guys are just killing it right now in the chat. I'll probably stay on for another 15 minutes, so around the 2.5 hour mark, I'll bounce. But shop smart, shop smart. Reanimator, the original Dracula, like the old school Dracula. The Vanishing was a good movie. Is that the one? Wait. Is The Vanishing the one? Oh God, was that Kiefer? Wait, was that the one where his wife disappears? Refresh my memory, R2, because I can't remember. Bela Lugosi, yeah, that's old school. I have a lot of editing to do. with this stream. Oh my god. Jeff Bridges and Keely. Yeah, and that was the ending where like he buried her or something, right? It's been so long where he tells her where she is, maybe, or was that a different movie? That was the gas station, right? Where the vanishing, where he's at a rest stop or something, and then she gets kidnapped, right? The Mothman prophecy, yes, Michelle, because that supposedly is a true story. Sandra Bullock plays the girlfriend. Yes, gets buried alive. I remember. See, I knew something. The old man's memory's coming back. Yes, Michelle. Mothman prophecy was a creepy movie because supposedly it was true. If you do some research on the Mothman prophecies, a lot of weird shit. I think we talked about Scream, Sean. I think we mentioned we liked the first one. I liked the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Weird fucking movie, man. The first one is so strange, but it's definitely considered a classic. The Strangers is a good movie. Yes. Mothman was West Virginia. That's right. That's right, Olivia. Represent, right? If I remember correctly, there was a lot of, I read some books on the Mothman prophecy, and there's some strange shit happening, man, to a lot of people in a wide area. Very similar thing. It was weird. Still weird. The House of Wax. Is that it? The House of Wax. Greg, Double G Greg, man, with all the movies these guys are coming with, I don't even know how you're gonna have time, but they're throwing some. Joel, Blair Witch 2 was so different from the first one. I think it just threw people off, but I remember some people liking that. Altered State 1980. It's another classic. Oh yeah. Carrie. I like the original Carrie. Hated the remake. The old Frankenstein Wolfman movies are classics, Greg. Frankie, The Shining, of course. We talked about The Shining. It was on the list of like one of the top, I think it was number 2, 3. As far as like the best movie, top 10 horror movies of all time. But that movie is definitely great because Jack Nicholson sold that movie, and it was so different. Candyman. The story of because it's Candyman's actually based on a true. No, I'm sorry. Let me say that again. It's loosely, obviously, a horror movie. There's some supernatural element to it, but it's actually based off somebody, I think, in that Chicago area. Maybe Mrs. Cannoli Sasquatch would know about that a little more, but it's definitely based on a real person. They just changed it into a horror movie. I remember that movie as a kid, and when you look in the mirror, and the guy's got a hook, and he's sticking it up people's behinds, and who has time for that shit? Near Dark, real vampires being actually vampires. Who would have thought? I remember. I remember the movie Near Dark. It's just been a long. Prom Night was another good one. Thanks, Olivia. Yes, Saw movies. We talked about that. Hey, Left Eye Ego, go ahead, man. I know it's late where you are. Say hello to the Shiro for me, please. All from the airport. Good guy. Good job, man. Thank you for coming by. Seriously, I'm gonna be on your stream tomorrow, or in the chat, and then we'll chat tomorrow about a time for Wednesday, man. I'm looking forward to that. So God bless, and go ahead and pick up Shiro, man. Be safe. The marketing for Blair Witch was amazing. It was amazing. The film itself, not so much, but the dudes and actors that made the film made bank. Yeah, I remember that. It was like one of the first viral things that happened because I think the internet was really young at that time, but the advertising was incredible. They sold it as a true story. And the whole movie, you're just sitting in there thinking, is this real? Is it not real? The whole documentary style thing, which that was invented, that movie invented that. Well, kind of, for the horror genre. Great stuff. Prom Night. Yeah, I think I said that. Near Dark, real fun. Yeah. Jamie Lee. It's half the cast of Aliens in Near Dark. Yes, it is. That's why I remember the movie. The Stepfather was good and grounded. Oh, so okay, we got Left Eye Ego shouted out again in the chat. Please follow him. Please like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel if you like it, and then also the links being put in by Mrs. Sasquatch. Please go follow these guys, man. They're awesome. R2 Icky. Yep. Tessio, the Iron Man Fingnuts. Resident Evil. Well, we're talking about the ones with the ones that came out like the oh God, what's her name? Who was in the freaking Resident Evil movies? God, I know I love the video games. Resident Evil games are great. So yeah, I think You guys are just killing it, man. Michelle, you coming with some good stuff too. I appreciate you for dropping in, Michelle. I know not everybody wants to spend their Friday nights on YouTube with their family doing streams, but you guys are awesome. We're going to do some collaborations soon with some of these people. Tetsuo, the Man Iron. God, you got some deep knowledge, Advent. Seriously, man. Basket Case 1982. I do remember that movie. Good movie. Yeah, I think we're going to call it quits at the 2 hour and 30-minute mark. So I got to come up with a category for Monday now. What I try to do is do my Friday streams here. I got a lot to edit on this stream. You realize that? Milo Jovovich, whatever you just said is right for Resident Evil. Yeah, those movies were okay. I know the show on Netflix that just came out for Resident Evil was absolute garbage. Ugh. But you're right. Good call. Good call, Michelle. Michelle's the go-to for the horror movie genre. She likes other stuff too. Dazed and Confused also. Yeah, that's right. She was. Wow. She's been in a lot of movies. She's a pretty good actress. Well, was. Yeah, Michelle's definitely got the deep knowledge of the horror movies. No, I think you got as close as anybody else would with her last name. I wouldn't know how to pronounce that. Scanners. Yes. What's the movie? Yeah, Scanners. Yeah, that's the one I was just going to say. Yes. Any movie with heads exploding is a win, Advent. So you are correct. Multipass, dude. Fifth Element's my jam. I don't know why I like that movie so much, but it's good. It's a great. It got Bruce Willis. It's sci-fi. Multipass. Yeah, great movie. Tell her you love her, Corbin. See, I know my movies. I know my movies. Oh, Seven is incredible. Seven. God, that movie was dark. It was well acted. Kevin Spacey, before he liked to diddle little kids, was great. Great choice. Seven's a classic. I love that movie. Terminator, the first one, I would say definitely is a horror movie. I love the first. I like the first Terminator movie better than the second one because he was creepy as hell, man. This guy's busting in people's doors and he's just straight killing people. It was great. Yeah, Seven's a great movie. The Batman movie was taking a lot of inspiration from Seven, so you can tell. I'm off like a prom night dress. See what I did there? Olivia, you are awesome. I love you for dropping by. Seriously, thank you for the support, and I hope to see you next week maybe or on my live stream Monday, but if not, I appreciate you stopping by anyway. Thank you. The best is quoting Seven, Joel says yes. Killer Clowns from Outer Space, Mike D is one of my favorite stupid horror movies of all time. It's just amazing. Nobody ever expects you to quote Seven. I got to watch Seven again. Look at Double G Greg bringing in the fire. Well, folks, listen, I can't express enough how much I love you people. Honestly, I know listen, the whole point of this YouTube thing is to get monetized someday. That's a small part of it. I do it for the content. I love doing this. So I appreciate you all dropping by. I appreciate the love and support you guys gave me over this last week. The subscription explosion was great. I know it doesn't always work that way, but I love this group. I love these people. We really have an amazing community. So AR2, thank you so much for coming on, man. You do a great job on all the channels you're in. And let's collaborate soon. Either after the weekend or on late night with Cap or whatever. I want to collab more with these guys because I want to support them. So please, thank you for coming by, everyone. Yes, Sean, when you were, yes, Thriller was great. I love Thriller. Even to this day, Michael Jackson's weird and all, but I still love Thriller. That as a kid, when he turned into the werewolf and then when he turned into the zombie, scared the shit out of me. Thanks, R2. Thank you so much. Hey, thanks, Mike D. Thanks, Michelle. Thanks, Double G, Greg. Thanks, Frankie. Thank you, Sean, so much for dropping by. Advent Wrath, my man. This guy's going to be a big star someday. I love his videos, man. He is hilarious. Thank you, Olivia, again. Left Eye Ego, Abomination AJ for dropping by. Joel, I got to chat with you tomorrow. So I will be texting you outside of this, probably sometime in the morning. Michelle, I love you so much because we got to get together soon. I know it's hard because we work and live on the other side of the planet from each other, but I really do appreciate you. And I'm glad you come onto these streams. Even, it's fun. Fear the Beardo, awesome, man. Thank you for dropping by. That dude right there supporting me is amazing. All right, I got to call it a night. Listen, again, thank you. And that is pretty much it. I will be back Monday for my own personal stream, 6:35 p.m. Now that I'm working from home, it gets so much easier. Thank you. Love you. This is Cannoli Sasquatch saying good night and have a safe night and weekend.